went wrong with a riot in February. I've got that story coming up.
This is KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer. All children across Illinois will soon need to be tested for lead exposure. The details are coming up.
New research shows more veterans are affected by mental health disorders than previously thought. I'm Jade Aubrey, and I'll tell you more next hour.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. Wet and stormy weather continues today. We'll have showers, even a heavy thunderstorm with flooding downpours, hail, and damaging winds today, high 78.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. U.S. teams are headed to Venezuela to help with the search for more survivors in buildings that collapsed during this week's twin earthquakes. Here's ABC's Victor Oquendo.
First, a 7.2 magnitude, followed just 39 seconds later by an even stronger 7.5. Seismologists call these back-to-back earthquakes doublets. In this case, they were utterly devastating, the worst to hit Venezuela in a century.
More than 250 people were killed, 4,000 injured, but those numbers are expected to go up. Immigrant right groups are warning of hundreds of thousands of deportations following a Supreme Court decision ending temporary protected status for those fleeing natural disasters or wars in Syria and Haiti. The European heat wave drags on, another record high in Britain on Thursday. Accused CEO killer Luigi Mangione back in a New York courtroom soon as ABC News learns his lawyers are looking for a plea deal. This is ABC News. This is one of the most dangerous fire seasons ever in the state of Utah.
Every county in Utah is in severe drought. 22 counties are in extreme drought. We came out of the lowest snowpack on record, and the forecast heading into Friday and Saturday includes very strong winds and extremely low humidity. In some places, we may see gusts up to 40 to 50 miles per hour and humidity in the single digits.
State Forester Jamie Barnes has more on how they're trying to prevent more fires from starting.
Starting Friday, June 26th at 12:01 a.m., the entire state will now move into stage 2 fire restrictions. This means no open fires across the state on state and private unincorporated lands.
The Australian government plans to strengthen laws that ban children younger than 16 from social media platforms. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says the move comes after evidence shows the ban on keeping kids off social media has failed and that young people are still accessing sites. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 6:02, rain, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman.
And I'm Megan Lynch. Leaders at the St. Louis County Jail opening up about a February riot.
The February 7th incident involved over 30 detainees taking over a housing unit, barricading themselves inside, and doing $30,000 worth of damage. This went on for 40 minutes before correctional officers used chemical dispersants to regain control. Newly appointed Acting Director of Justice Services, Tim Ware, says insufficient training was a problem.
We need to train on something like this on a regular basis, just like in the law enforcement world or in active shooters. We're training on that all the time. We need to train on this stuff. That's been hampered by our staffing challenges.
Ware was appointed to the position earlier this month, taking over for then Director Janelle Coleman. Asked if the change in leadership is due to this incident.
We're working on some organizational structure. We're using my extensive law enforcement experience and bringing that to the jail, and hopefully we can get some changes going.
Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The full report, which spans 100 pages and includes video footage of the incident, was released Thursday.
One of the suspects from the Steak and Shake drive-through shooting is set to face trial today. 20-year-old Jada Bell is facing 4 charges, including first-degree murder in the killing of 32-year-old Chauncey Meekins, who was shot and killed April 8th. Bell has been held on a $1 million cash-only bond and is set to be sentenced today in Clayton at 8:45 a.m.
Tight budget times could lead to funding cuts and restrictions in Missouri's next state budget. State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick says Missouri is spending more money than it's bringing in. He recommends Governor Kehoe cut budget spending and bills with a high price tag. During Tuesday's State Board of Education meeting, Deputy Commissioner Kyle Cruz explained how the legislature's budget proposal underfunded schools by about $190 million.
It's going to vary dramatically district to district. There's 2 parts to that. Number one, how heavily does that district depend on local funding, property tax funding, versus how heavily does that district depend on formula funding?
The governor's deadline to finalize budget decisions is next Tuesday.
A new medical school expansion in Southwest Missouri is expected to have a long-term impact on healthcare across the state. The University of Missouri held a ribbon cutting Wednesday for its new Springfield campus. Richard Barron, dean of the MU School of Medicine, says the goal is to train more doctors who will stay and practice in Missouri.
It's estimated we're currently overall 1,200 doctors short in Missouri, and we know that where doctors train is where they tend to practice. So it's a stickiness factor. So that's why it's important to train doctors in southern Missouri.
The university's first class of 32 students plans to start in summer 2027, with enrollment expected to grow to 128 in Springfield by 2030.
The Supreme Court has ruled whether Missourians can sue Roundup over violating state labeling laws.
In a 7-2 ruling, the U.S. Supreme Court found that federal regulations and labeling requirements overrides state law protecting Roundup's parent company from liability. The ruling comes after a Missouri man filed a lawsuit accusing Roundup of causing his non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and arguing they violated state law by not including a warning label that the product can cause cancer. KMOX legal analyst Brad Young.
This is going to eliminate an enormous amount of the litigation against Monsanto, now Bayer, because most of those lawsuits were filed under state court laws in many, many states, including Missouri and in Illinois.
Young says this is a win for St. Louis-based Bayer, who without the threat of these lawsuits can better protect their jobs and investment. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
All children across Illinois will soon need to be tested for lead exposure.
Effective July 1st, all Illinois zip codes will be covered under a state law calling for precautionary testing to ensure children are not harmed by exposure to lead. Previously, Illinois lead testing requirements applied only to children living in high-risk zip codes. Under the new standard, which takes effect July 1st, all Illinois children, wherever they live, will get a blood test automatically at 12 and 24 months. All children 6 years of age and younger will be required to be assessed for lead exposure through the use of a questionnaire administered by a healthcare provider. Under Illinois law, blood tests that come back with confirmed excess lead levels will require a public health intervention. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The St. Louis County Library program that's been running since 2017 continues to teach teens how to code. The Coding 101 class is free. It'll hold classes twice a week from July 13th through August 3rd at the Clark Family Branch. It introduces kids ages 10 to 14 to coding and sends them home with a Chromebook at the end of the course as an incentive to keep going. Emily McElvoy runs the program. She says it's served more than 360 children over the years.
It's a really fun age to work with, to see them work through an issue like something like their code is not lining up exactly how they want it. And to see them when the light bulb goes off is kind of amazing.
We'll check traffic and weather next. It's 6:07.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is now 6:10. Let's see how things are moving on the roads for you on this Friday morning. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Still issues on 270, Megan. We still have slow going right now, northbound 270, about midway up from 55 to Tesson Ferry. We had an earlier crash there around the same time we had that one north of Gravois. They quickly cleared it off at the exit, but they're reporting another incident. I can't see it, but I can see slow traffic approaching Tesson Ferry, so it looks like if there's anything there, it is of a minor nature, and it is creating slow going right now. And then I talked about that other crash at the top of the hour with the car into the median wall. That one's in North County on 270. It's eastbound 270, right near Newhall's Ferry, east of West Florissant, a good chunk. And the left lane is blocked. Of course, like I said, they hit the median wall, so they have the left lane shut down. It is eastbound, opposite direction of rush hour flow. So right now, traffic's light enough through that area that I'm not seeing any delays. And there's really not much in the way of rain in North County, maybe a little light rain, but no standing water issues there. But there could be in spots. Downpours are possible anywhere this morning. So use a little caution, especially in work zones where drainage may not be as optimal. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
The flood watch continues through this evening. We'll have showers and even a heavy thunderstorm. Watch for flooding downpours, hail, and damaging winds in the strongest storms. Humid with clouds and a high of 78. The showers and thunderstorms move slowly off to the south overnight. It'll stay rather cloudy and humid with a low near 70. We'll have another thunderstorm or two, high 84 tomorrow. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We have rain in the St. Louis area. It is 70 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It's 6:11. Governor J.B. Pritzker banning junk fees, increasing transparency in ticket pricing, and curtailing deceptive resale practices in Illinois.
The governor is enacting greater oversight for buy now, pay later lenders. Pritzker says his legislation will increase transparency for consumers and put money back in the pockets of families by making honest pricing the statewide standard.
As these products become more common, we have a responsibility to ensure that consumers have the information they need and that lenders operate under clear rules and standards. We're sending a clear message today. Illinoisans deserve a fair deal, not price gouging. Our goal is straightforward: transparency, accountability, and fairness.
Maria Kina, KMOX News.
There's such a backlog in the State Department. Some people are waiting 3 months, 6 months to get a passport.
That is Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth telling that now military IDs will not be sufficient if your last name is different on your current ID.
So think about the 69 million American women who married and took their husbands' names. You can no longer vote under the SAFE Act. And so that is what he's doing. He wants this.
President Trump has said he will not sign the bipartisan affordable housing bill if the Save America Act is not passed.
Illinois faces a potential budget hit after federal officials reported one of the nation's highest SNAP food assistant payment error rates. Mallory Vorbroker reports.
The state's error rate climbed nearly 15% in 2025. That's well above the national average of just over 10%, according to the latest U.S. Department of Agriculture SNAP Quality Control Report. The errors include both overpayments and underpayments in the food assistance program. Illinois' error rate has risen steadily in recent years, increasing from about 11% in 2024. Under a new federal policy, states with higher error rates could be forced to absorb a portion of SNAP costs. That could mean as much as $700 million a year for Illinois if the problem is not corrected. Mallory Vorbroker, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
The U.S. Figure Skating Championship brought money and attention to the St. Louis area.
A new study from the St. Louis Sports Commission says the event's 7 days brought almost $16 million to the region during a typically slow time. It also brought significant national exposure, 18 hours of nationally televised coverage, including 8 hours on NBC, with a combined 6.5 million viewers. The Today Show was here, along with 150 national media members, resulting in huge social media engagement. The Sports Commission says they'll use the success of this event to lure other big sporting events to the area. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
Well, Beth, it could also be a massive day for the St. Louis Blues if they pull the trigger on a trade, even if they don't. 4 first-round picks can change a franchise, especially their prospect pool. But this could also be a big day for them because they are reportedly on the hunt for big forwards. The biggest name yesterday that surfaced, Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars, although he reportedly turned down an opportunity to come to St. Louis. But the Blues have some currency in 4 first-round picks. They made the last first-round pick theirs by trading Jordan Kyrou a few days ago. And according to general manager Doug Armstrong, that gave them the opportunity to shop around. Take a listen.
It allows the other 31 teams to digest what St. Louis is trying to accomplish and see if they can participate. I've said it to you, to people here. If we can use some of these assets to improve our team, we will. We will strongly consider it. And so now, if you're one of 31 other teams and you say, okay, St. Louis has 11, 15, 16, 29, this is what they want to try and accomplish. Do we want a draft pick? Can we use this draft pick? What do we have to offer to get it? Because they're willing to move it. So what it does, it just allows them, instead of 12 hours, it allows them, 48 plus hours to really dig into what they have and what we have and see if there's a potential match there.
The NHL draft is tonight. Now, the Blues are also reportedly eyeing the number 2 overall pick in the draft that is currently owned by the San Jose Sharks. That pick is projected to be Ivar Stenberg. Otto Stenberg's brother also happened to be a teammate of Milton Gastrin, who the Blues acquired in that Kyrou trade. So it's a very interesting change here that the Blues could potentially get into. We'll continue to keep an eye on it coming up here on KMOX all day long. Stay tuned as we get closer to the NHL draft. The Redbird Report, sponsored by Rawlings. Visit the Rawlings experience at Westport. The Cardinals game was rained out yesterday, and that did not sit well with Diamondbacks pitcher Paul Sewald. He popped off on X last night saying, quote, "No, you're right. Thank you, Cardinals, for not moving our game up to this afternoon when we politely asked, given the whole world knew it was going to rain tonight. I actually was really hoping we could lose an off day and turn it into a 4-city road trip." And then he used a thumbs up emoji. That was met with sharp criticism from mostly Cardinals fans, saying that he makes a lot of money to play baseball, et cetera, et cetera. The Cardinals didn't have any response to that, as they have rescheduled this game, Major League Baseball has, to July 23rd. It'll be a Thursday afternoon at Busch Stadium. That game will start at 4:15. As for the Cardinals situation right now, where they sit, they're looking up at a few teams that they used to be on top of. In the division, they now trail the Cubs. The Cubs just swept the Mets. They've won 4 in a row, and so have the Brewers. Milwaukee leads the Central by 6.5 games over the Cubs. The Cardinals are 7 back, having dropped 2 straight, and the Cardinals have also lost their hold of the top spot in the wild card. They are now the 3rd wild card team in the National League. It goes Phillies, Cubs, and then the Cardinals, with the Padres sitting a half game out. The Cardinals open a series this weekend against the Marlins, and watch out for them. They're just a game and a half out of the National League wild card race, as they have won 7 of their last 10. They're 42-39. The Cardinals are 42-36. The United States, they already won their group, so last night's game didn't matter, but it was entertaining nonetheless. They lost in the final minute to Turkey. Final was 3-2. Robbie Avila is a Los Angeles Laker, at least for now. He has signed what's called an Exhibit 10 contract with the team, which means he'll work out this summer, a little bit of training camp, see if he can make the club. Deion Brown has done the same thing with the Brooklyn Nets. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Billikens and the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering for Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Let's see how things are moving on your morning rush. We head back to the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Roger Brand, how's it look?
Well, it's great out there right now, Megan. This traffic reports a service of financial and tax strategies. North 270 is finally back on track, looking good from 55 up through Tesson Ferry and Gravois, where we had some earlier problems. They're still working this crash in North County. The car into the median wall, eastbound 270, right near New Halls Ferry. Left lane shut down, but again, it's eastbound. Traffic on a Friday is lighter in general, so there are no delays either direction on 270 there. But again, stay out of that left lane or left couple lanes if you're eastbound on 270, headed for 367 or into Illinois. Speaking of Illinois, highways on that side of the river still looking great as well. We do have that backup on northbound Route 3, Queenie up through Monsanto. Once you get past that point, you're okay. But interstate-wise in the construction zones, anywhere in the work zones on either side of the river, things remain on the go. Next update is 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
Very light rain downtown at the moment, although to the south of us, a lot heavier. And there are some pockets of the St. Louis area that aren't seeing any rain at the moment, but that is going to change. We have a flood watch in effect through this evening, mostly cloudy and humid showers. Even a heavy thunderstorm could bring flooding, downpours, hail, damaging wind gusts today, high 78. Showers and thunderstorms sink slowly southward tonight, a low near 70. Tomorrow we'll get some peaks of sun. It'll still be humid with a thunderstorm or two around and a high of 84. It's 70 right now.
The news continues at 6:22. The U.S. Supreme Court this week issued a number of decisions in favor of the Trump administration's immigration and asylum restrictions. Let's get more from Odyssey's Steve Scott. He spoke with constitutional law professor Rory Little.
All right, so the court ruled the Trump administration can end temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of Haitian and Syrian nationals. What does that mean, big picture, and then specifically for those families?
Yeah, well, this basically is a very important decision, which gives the Trump administration and any administration in the future complete authority to get rid of what's called temporary protected status. There are over 300,000 Haitians in the United States. The situation in Haiti is, of course, a horrible one. And this will mean that these 350,000 or more will have to worry a lot right now about their immigration status, possibly lose their jobs very quickly. And these are people who are essential in many different workplaces in America. So this is a really important decision. Most interesting, perhaps maybe disturbing, is that the court ruled that they can't say that race played any role in this decision. The standard for the Equal Protection Clause is if race plays a role, not just the role, but just a role, then it could be unconstitutional. And the court here says we don't think it's likely to prove that. Justice Kagan in dissent says, boy, the statements made by the president and the Secretary of Homeland Security are so horrible that the majority opinion won't even repeat them. And to say, and the president said, well, why don't we get people from Norway and Sweden to say there's no race involved? So that's a very disturbing result.
Some of these countries, if people are forced to leave the United States and go back, their lives can be in danger there.
Oh, absolutely true. The State Department still has on their website that Syria and Haiti are unsafe for travel under any conditions. So, they say it's dangerous. You can be killed. You could be kidnapped. And the plaintiffs in these cases said the same thing. They said, we're fearful that we will be killed if we go back there. And the majority opinion does not, recognize that. It's written by Justice Alito. It's 6-3. So this is a definitive endorsement, if you will, of a part of the administration's attack, really, on immigrants in general. There was another case as well on this same topic.
Is that the asylum access at the Mexican border?
Yeah, Otro Lado is the name of the case. They basically approve what is a program called metering. This is the return to Mexico policy. And this endorses that, the idea that you can stand border guards right at the border and say to anybody who shows up, well, you can't come in, go back to wherever, and we don't care where, but it could be dangerous, and apply, later, apply somewhere else.
The Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge rose to a new 3-year high in May as gas prices peaked. The increase was largely driven by more expensive gas, as well as pricier semiconductors and other computer equipment that are in high demand for the AI build-out. Rising prices have caused the inflation fighters at the Federal Reserve to keep their key rate unchanged this year, a reversal from January when they had penciled in 2 cuts. Some economists forecast the central bank could increase rates this year instead.
Researchers say some alternative therapies are working for veterans living with mental health disorders.
That's according to Jessica Maples-Keller, the principal investigator for clinical trials offered to veterans at the Wounded Warrior Project. Those trials explore the effectiveness of alternative treatments, including psychedelic-assisted therapies, which Keller says are proving, quote, incredibly effective.
These are medications that only require being used 1 to 3 times. And I think that's also an important contribution because some of our standard medications work great for people, but some of them don't. And some of them have significant side effects. So I think that's another exciting possibility.
While the main trials explore the use of MDMA and psilocybin, Keller says other trials are currently exploring therapy programs combined with drugs like ketamine, DMT, and ibogaine. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
It's 6:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts at Busch Stadium. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou. With $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at cardinals.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog, but they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
At 6:30, we have some rain, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Let's get over to Roger Brand, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it doesn't look bad out there right now, Tom. In fact, they cleared that crash in North County, eastbound 270, east to West Florissant, so things are back on track there. Northbound 270 is looking good. 55 up through Gravois. We had a couple of earlier problems there. There's a crash. Not much of a backup right now, but did call out EMS eastbound 30 at 270 at Weber Hill there. The lights just west of 270. Traffic's just slow east of Mauer Industrial coming up the hill, so it's not much of a delay right now. So we'll see if that gets much worse. The rest of these highways, we're getting busier, but still no real delays coming in from out west. We do have some slow traffic downtown coming around the bend. It looks like a minor incident. Northbound 55 just past 3200 Broadway traffic is backed up right as you come around the bend at Potomac, so just pay attention there. Illinois traffic, the interstates through the work zones look good. And Route 3 looks like we're back to normal between Queenie and Monsanto northbound. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
There's a flood watch in effect through this evening. Mostly cloudy and humid today with showers and a heavy thunderstorm possible, a high of 78. Showers and thunderstorms tonight. Otherwise, cloudy and humid, an overnight low near 70. And then tomorrow, clouds with some peaks of sun. Humid with a thunderstorm or two around, a high of 84. Right now we have rain, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch.
And the start of a dangerous heat wave on Sunday. AccuWeather predicts St. Louis may rack up 8 straight days with highs at or above 90. Forecasters say it will feel like it's over 100 degrees multiple afternoons. That increases the risk of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Actual temperatures in some metro areas in the middle of the nation may approach triple digits.
Police have now released the name of the teen who was shot and killed in the Forest Park Southwest neighborhood. 15-year-old Norman Hardyway died in the hospital after being shot near South Taylor Avenue on Gibson around 7:30 Wednesday night. Police still searching for suspects.
Lack of training due to a shortage of correctional officers is to blame for a group of detainees taking over a housing unit in the county jail in February. That's according to Acting Director of Justice Services, Tim Ware.
Decisions made during that process could have been different or made in a more timely manner. And that's what we're going to work on in some extensive training.
Ware says the riot lasted 40 minutes, and although there were no injuries, the damage is estimated to be $30,000. Who pays for that?
When a detainee or a resident damages something within the jail, that's documented, and that can be taken off their books if they have money on their books. If not, ultimately, yes, the county would have to pay for the damages.
Ware has only been on the job for a little over a week. When asked if this incident is why there was a leadership change, he said the jail is, quote, working on its organizational structure.
Beginning July 1st, all children across Illinois will need to be tested one way or another for lead levels in their blood. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Previously, Illinois lead testing requirements applied only to children living in high-risk zip codes. Under the new standard, which takes effect July 1st, all Illinois children, wherever they live, are to be tested automatically at 12 and 24 months. All children 6 years of age and younger will be required to be assessed for lead exposure through the use of a questionnaire administered by a healthcare provider. Under Illinois law, blood tests that come back with confirmed excess lead levels will require a public health intervention. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Money Minute next.
When Cardinals fans want to talk baseball, they turn to the Gas House Gang. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Nicholas bring insights, analysis, and opinions that fuel the conversation. And every Tuesday, Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol pulls back the curtain on his decisions and his team's performance. The Gas House Gang is the sports show sports fans can't miss. Hear it weekdays at noon on your home for the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
It's now 6:35. Time for your money report, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. With artificial intelligence booming, the world's leading memory chip makers are reportedly set to unveil a huge AI spending push. South Korean media reports that Samsung and SK Hynix are gearing up to announce hundreds of billions of dollars worth of new investments on Monday. Samsung and SK Hynix are South Korea's two most valuable companies. Microsoft is carrying out big price increases on the Xbox for the third time in just over a year. Starting August 1st, the gaming console will cost $100 more for models with 512 gigabytes of storage and $150 more for the 1 terabyte versions. A component shortage crisis has driven up the cost of most consumer tech products. SoftBank stock fell on concerns that OpenAI may hold off on an IPO until next year, which would delay returns for its Japanese backer. The company's investment in the ChatGPT maker is slated to stand at roughly $65 billion by October. Dow futures are down around 50 points, while the S&P is down close to 40 points. Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Radio.
The legendary Fast Eddie at Fast Eddie's Bon Air and St. Louis baseball legend Jason Isringhausen.
Izzy, what's going on, man?
You know what, Eddie boy, I've been pretty busy. Got to get out there and got to do the mowing.
Yep, I'll tell you what, when you get done mowing the grass.
Well, I do my best Forrest Gump impression with all of that mowing I have to do around the property.
Do it for St. Louis, do it.
Like Mama said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, except at Fast Eddie's Bon Air. What are we going to get at Fast Eddie's?
Let me get it right. You can come on over to Fast Eddie's Bar Bon Air, located on the other side of Clark Bridge in beautiful Alton, Illinois. When you're done mowing the grass, come over here and lounge around with me on the beautiful outdoor patio with all the big screens, the live music playing, the hot chick on a stick.
What about that fancy surf and turf you came up with?
Man, I'm telling you what, that is meat and seafood on one stick. And it's called the Eddie. It's the king of all foods.
Like Mr. Shannon always said, if you're 21 in the mood, come on over to that Clark Bridge and come see Fast Eddie's Bon Air in beautiful Alton, Illinois.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year. So do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
The soundtrack of classic rock is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater August 6th. Leonard Skinner and Foreigner joining forces for one epic night of legendary hits and unforgettable memories. It's the Double Trouble Double Vision Tour. From Sweet Home Alabama to Cold as Ice. Don't miss your chance to experience these two rock and roll Hall of Fame acts in one incredible show. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Let's turn our attention to traffic. Roger Brand, what's the latest? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we got trouble east of the airport on eastbound 70 right now. We have a jackknife tractor trailer and a passenger car. They say the crash is minor, but our KMOX commuter Susan says it's blocking the two left lanes. I can't see the accident. It's right as you get around the bend past Natural Bridge, but traffic is backing up, jamming just a little east of Air Flight right now on eastbound Highway 70, so be prepared. That or crash reported north 55. I heard them call out EMS north of Potomac. Don't see anything there. There's a little slowdown at 4500 Broadway. They also send EMS southbound 55 at Loughborough. North 270 slows you approach Gravois, and we have that crash eastbound 30 at Weber Hill. Traffic's jammed about midway back down the hill to Mauer Industrial Boulevard. Westbound 64 at the Chesterfield Airport Road on-ramp, so that's before the Boone Bridge. They sent EMS for the crash a moment ago. Big Bend at Laclede Station, we've got an injury crash. Tractor trailer with its brakes locked up, southbound 67 at 110. That's reportedly in a traffic lane as well. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
So we're in the midst of a stormy pattern and the heat's coming in as well. Let's get the latest on the forecast with AccuWeather's Heather Zare.
And taking a look at the radar right now, we do still have some showers that are falling around the area, more off to the west. Just kind of been a cloudy, dreary start to the day with some wet weather. And that pretty much is the story for the rest of the day. We have a flood watch that's in effect through this evening, kind of cumulative effects from the last couple of days and additional rain here from today. Showers, heavy thunderstorms coming through off and on. Definitely humid with a lot of clouds and a high of 78. Any thunderstorm is going to be capable of producing flooding, downpours, and hail, along with damaging wind gusts. Heading into the overnight hours, the showers and thunderstorms sink slowly to the south, and it stays just rather cloudy and humid for the overnight with a low near 70. There can be some peaks of sun tomorrow, but still a thunderstorm or two around with a high of 84. However, things change heading into the second half of the weekend. Sunday will be mostly sunny, and it's going to get very hot and humid, the high 96. With AccuWeather real field temperatures up to 107 degrees. Sunshine, heat, and humidity continuing to build then for early next week. And we'll have highs getting back close to 100 by the time we get to Tuesday, with AccuWeather real field temperatures approaching 110. 70 in St. Peters and Florissant right now, 71 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, Heather. The heat wave over Europe just keeps setting records. Forecasters say temperatures in Britain and Switzerland hit record highs for June yesterday, reaching 36 degrees Celsius or 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Authorities are warning people to take precautions. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer was pressed by members of parliament on how to keep people, especially kids, in school. safe from the heat.
We're having COBRA meetings at the official level to monitor what's going on, give the appropriate advice. But obviously, it falls to me and others to say, take care, be sensible with precautions. And schools are going to have to decide, and they are deciding. Most of them finishing a little bit early, or many of them, but they will gauge that according to their local conditions.
Former President Bill Clinton criticizing Congress and President Trump over handling of a bipartisan housing bill that President Trump says he refuses to sign unless Congress passes his election bill called the Save America Act. The act includes things like proof of citizenship in order to register and a photo ID to cast a ballot. Clinton's remarks came during a memorial service for late Congressman Barney Frank.
Mr. Leader, you're dealing with this housing bill today. It's clearly a potential victory for the Republicans. They can't say, well, we weren't a totally do-nothing Congress. We passed this bill and President Trump signed it.
The race to build AI data centers is going to cost a lot more money. Here's ABC's Andrea Fuji.
Two tech giants are raising prices by hundreds of dollars on their most popular products, blaming the booming demand for memory chips, calling it chipflation. Apple says it's increasing the MacBook Pro by $300 to nearly $2,000. And the iPad Air is up $150, now selling for $749. Microsoft joining suit, saying by August, some Xbox consoles will increase by $150.
Speaking of big money, Major League Baseball proposed limiting most free agent contracts to 5 years and 15% of a team's salary cap and to eliminate deferred compensation. Fleshing out details of a salary cap plan likely to spark a confrontation with the Players Association that could lead to the first loss of regular season games since 1995. During a bargaining session yesterday at the union's office, MLB said it would accept the union's proposal granting free agency a year early for players who have reached age 30 as part of a salary cap system. MLB also proposed boosting the minimum salary from $780,000 to $1 million for those with 2 years of big league service. Cardinals game was rained out yesterday. They'll take on the Marlins this weekend. That Diamondbacks game will be rescheduled for July 23rd. That's an off day for both teams. 4:15 start at Busch Stadium. Cardinals are suddenly the third wild card team in the National League, having lost back-to-back games. But most importantly, that the Cubs have won 4 in a row. Chicago has now moved ahead of the Cardinals in the NL Central standings as Milwaukee leads the division by 6.5 games over the Cubs and 7 over the Cardinals. This is a big day for the St. Louis Blues. They have 4 first-round picks in tonight's NHL draft. And furthermore, they have put the NHL on notice. They are open for business.
As I said, you don't see very many teams move out of certain areas. And then I say that, and last night Chicago did. So, and I didn't, I don't say I didn't see it coming, but that was a very aggressive trade by both sides. So I think my previous answers this one. Everyone knows what we have. And if they want to engage St. Louis at pick 1, 2, 3, 4, they know what we have, and I would welcome the call.
They are looking reportedly at forwards, NHL-ready forwards. Jason Robertson was one that they reportedly looked into in a trade with the Stars, but he's turned down reportedly an opportunity to play in St. Louis. They also have been reported to be eyeing the number 2 overall pick in the NHL draft, one that San Jose owns, and Ivar Stenberg, the excellent Swedish forward, is expected to be picked at that number. We'll see what the Blues end up doing later tonight in the first round of the NHL draft. As for the next round of the World Cup, it will involve the United States, and it will also involve Bosnia and Herzegovina. Those two countries are going to play each other on July 1st. We have over 60,000 Bosnians living in St. Louis, so certainly that matchup on July 1st will be of interest to those here in this area. As for last night, Turkey beat the United States for its only win of the World Cup, 3-2, in a game that did not mean anything to either team, but it was entertaining nonetheless. Who's Hot, Who's Not, sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Growing gardens and making memories. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories. Tom Ackerman for St. Louis Composting. I've been a customer for the last couple of years. We had mulch delivered to our home earlier this spring. It's already been spread. Now's the perfect time for that. The perfect time to refresh your entire landscape with a fresh layer of mulch in your flower beds and around your trees. It is the fastest way to make your yard pop with a beautiful, well-kept look. St. Louis Composting has 9 retail locations all over the area. I didn't realize that when I first started talking about them. 9 locations all over the area, so there's one close to you. But you know what we did? We had the mulch delivered. You can just go to stlcompost.com. You can pick out the type of mulch you want. You can use their material calculator to figure out how much soil or mulch your project requires, and then they'll bring it to your home. stlcompost.com. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories.
Mizzou football is almost here. Get ready for the season opening kickoff and Como game on Thursday, September 3rd, with 4 tickets for only $80. Be there to see the finished Memorial Stadium Centennial Project, a deal for the entire family to enjoy the home opener. Let's keep the sellout streak alive and bring the energy as we kick off the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium. Purchase your 4 tickets for $80 at mutigers.com/kickoff and Como. MIZ.
Taking care of yourself should fit into your life, not complicated. Neovitin Original Formula is a complete daily multivitamin designed to support your everyday wellness routine with essential vitamins, minerals, and a natural ingredient blend, all in just 2 daily tablets. Subscribe online at neovitin.com for monthly delivery or shop Neovitin at your local Schnucks and Dearborn. Neovitin Original Formula is physician formulated to fit easily into your everyday routine. All of our vitamins are manufactured in a certified GMP facility in the USA. Neovitin, make nutrition easy.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Now the news at 1 the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 6:50. Time to check in again with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. How's it look out there?
Well, a couple of eastbound trouble spots right now, Megan. The one I mentioned up last time was the tractor-trailer jackknifed. Our KMOX commuter, Susan, said it was the 2 left lanes, and I can see that MoDOT has those 2 left lanes shut down now. It's eastbound 70 just past the Natural Bridge exit as you go around the bend toward the Interbelt. So eastbound 70 is jammed solidly back to Airflight because only that one right lane is getting passed around the scene. They said it was minor, so that's the good news, the no injuries, but just to take the time to get the tractor-trailer straightened out and back on the road. Also seeing a backup eastbound 270. It looks like we have an incident just before Lindbergh. Traffic's jammed as you come around the bend, so pay attention as you come around the bend from McDonald Boulevard, eastbound 270. Traffic backs up pretty quickly. Westbound 64, the ramp lanes getting onto North 170 are a little slow. Northbound 55, a little slow at 4500 Broadway. I think we had a crash off the roadway there. It's still a little bit of a backup. Midway up the hill from Mauer to 270 on eastbound 30, we had a crash at Weber Hill reported, and there's also a couple of slide-offs. I'm not really seeing much in the way of delays, though, southbound 61 at Highway 70. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Roger, no rain at the moment here in our area of downtown, but there is rain all around us, and there is going to be for much of today. Flood watch in effect through this evening. Mostly cloudy, humid with showers and even a heavy thunderstorm that can bring flooding, downpours, hail, damaging wind gusts, a high today of 78. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms sink slowly southward, otherwise cloudy and humid, low near 70. Tomorrow, clouds and peaks of sun, but it'll remain humid with a thunderstorm or 2 around and a high of 84. It's 70 right now.
How young? I'm Fred Bottomer with 60 Seconds to Better Health. More and more parents of obese kids are starting them on GLP-1 weight loss drugs. Is that safe? Fox News senior medical analyst Dr. Mark Siegel.
Ozempic itself, which is what all these medications are based on, was approved in 2017 by the FDA, and it still, to this day, doesn't have an approval for below the age of 18 because they're saying that they want to see long-term effects first before they approve it for kids. At the same time, Wegovy, which is basically the same thing as Ozempic, those injections can be given from the age of 12 and up. So the same drug for diabetics who really need it can't get it till 18, but you can get it for weight at the age of 12. I'm trying to make a point here, which is I think that for kids that are truly morbidly obese, that have a risk of high blood pressure, diabetes, long-term effects, heart disease, long-term effects, this is a tool I want in the arsenal. But we're also concerned about kids that maybe didn't eat right, maybe didn't exercise well enough. Was there enough heavy-duty intervention on lifestyle before we turn to them?
With 60 seconds to better health, I'm Fred Bottomer.
As more children get involved in sports, how can parents balance the emotional, financial, and time commitments that come with that? Experts and one sports parent share advice.
We've all been inspired by an athlete we see on television or on the court. And for many kids, that inspiration sparks a desire to try as many sports as they can. For parents, it's important to encourage those passions in healthy ways while balancing the time, money, and emotional investment that often comes with competitive sports. Travis Dorsch is the founding director of the Families in Sport Lab at Utah State University. He recommends taking a slow approach. Start by letting kids explore sports with their friends, or simply head to the park to kick a ball around.
It needs to be their journey. I think the cool thing about being a parent is you're on the journey with them.
But on top of engaging with kids, it's also important for parents to avoid living out their own sports dreams through their children. And what happens when kids want to take things to the next level? Tess Michner-Asinjo says she knew her two teens were ready for a deeper commitment when they began asking for extra training and other ways to improve. For her, the key is supporting her teens' goals while setting her own boundaries for her time and budget to avoid burnout.
If they're happy and they're passionate and they're feeling good about it, then it's worth it.
Not every young athlete will have a career in sports, but experts say the greatest benefits come from personal growth and the fun gained along the way. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
And today's KMOX birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Celebrity birthdays for this Friday, June 26th, include musician Mick Jones of The Clash, cyclist Greg LeMond, 65 years old, actor Chris O'Donnell is 56, and local country musician Gretchen Wilson, 53 years old.
Local celebrity birthdays. Jan Christian Anderson. Happy birthday. Wendy Weiss. Happy birthday. 22nd birthday to Alexis Herbeck of Millstadt, Illinois, from Carol and family. Happy 5th birthday to Aiden Simmons from the O'Donnell family. Happy birthday, Lonnie Cleveland. And Jackie Sykes of O'Fallon, Illinois.
This is the best birthday ever.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Amendment 4 on the August ballot hides some ugly facts. It would create a new minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that are citizen-led.
I just say no to that.
Amendment 4 permanently ends majority rule for citizen-led ballot issues.
I'm a no on 4.
Politicians put Amendment 4 on the ballot to severely limit citizens' constitutional power.
I say no on 4.
4 is a power grab by politicians. It lets one congressional district veto reforms backed by the majority of voters statewide, giving as few as 5% of voters control over the rest of us.
That's why I say no to 4.
4 would make it nearly impossible to rein in out-of-control politicians.
I say heck no.
4 takes away our constitutional power we've used for over 100 years to pass reforms that politicians wouldn't. Keep majority rule and your power. Just say no to Amendment 4. It's an ugly politician power grab. Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
Let's see how things are moving on the roads with Roger Brandon, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the 2 left lanes, Megan, are still blocked eastbound 70 past Natural Bridge because of a jackknife semi. They say it's up on the guardrail. Traffic's a solid jam back at Cypress, and they have a couple of slide-offs there blocking a traffic lane now. Southbound 61 at 70, traffic is jammed there back to Wentzville Parkway. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have some rain in the area, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman, and these are the stories making news.
I'm Sean Malone. What went wrong at the St. Louis County Jail in February that led to a riot? I've got that story coming up.
I'm Megan Lynch.
This is KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer. All children across Illinois will soon need to be tested for lead exposure. The details are coming up.
New research shows more veterans are affected by mental health disorders than previously thought. I'm Jade Aubrey, and I'll tell you more next hour.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare. A flood watch is in effect through this evening as we continue to have showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Watch for flooding downpours, hail, and damaging winds with a high of 78.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. U.S. aid is on the way to Venezuela in the form of supplies and search and rescue teams who will be going from collapsed building to collapsed building looking for survivors.
As many as 25,000 still unaccounted for, as experts warn the death toll could ultimately top 10,000. New aerial footage capturing the extent of the devastation. High-rises leveled. Blocks upon blocks reduced to debris.
ABC's Victor Okendo. Russian air defenses intercepting more than 600 Ukrainian drones overnight, part of a major attack on 12 Russian regions. A 6-3 ruling by the Supreme Court ending temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of refugees who have been in the U.S. after fleeing violence or natural disasters in their homelands. Paris Fashion Week, one of many things affected by the brutal European heat wave. The show's sparking a sharp question about whether air conditioning is needed and whether Fashion Week can even function. This is ABC News. The race to build AI data centers is going to cost all of us a lot more money. The memory chips used in those facilities, the same memory used by all sorts of devices. And now those who manufacture those devices are forcing us to pay more if we want them.
2 tech giants are raising prices by hundreds of dollars on their most popular products, blaming the booming demand for memory chips, calling it chipflation. Apple says it's increasing the MacBook Pro by $300 to nearly $2,000. And the iPad Air is up $150, now selling for $749. Microsoft joining suit, saying by August, some Xbox consoles will increase by $150.
That's ABC's Andrea Fuji. Celebrations on Ivory Coast as the national team advances out of the FIFA World Cup group stage for the first time ever. They'll face either France or Norway. U.S. men's teams headed to the knockout phase, even though they lost last night. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 7:02, we have rain, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, June 26th. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Insufficient training was a factor in why nearly 3 dozen detainees were able to take over a housing unit inside the St. Louis County Jail.
We also need to do more training on these types of situations so the correctional officers feel prepared when they're confronted with something like this.
Acting Director of Justice Services, Tim Ware, who took over earlier this month. He says a lack of training is attributable to not enough staff.
We're under some staffing challenges, and that's can't be an excuse, but that's a reality is we have to have more staffing available.
However, the jail did not contact Clayton police until after the incident, with Ware saying they should have during it.
No one can really do it by themselves, and we're always working together, and that's what should have happened here as well.
There were no injuries, but the damage is estimated to be around $30,000. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
One of the suspects from the Steak and Shake drive-through shooting set to face trial today. 20-year-old Jada Bell facing 4 charges, including first-degree murder in the killing of 32-year-old Chauncey Meekins, who was shot and killed April 8th. Bell has been held on $1 million cash-only bond and is set to be sentenced today in Clayton at 8:45 a.m.
Police have now released the name of the teen who was shot and killed in the Forest Park Southwest neighborhood. 15-year-old Norman Hardaway died in the hospital after being shot near South Taylor on Gibson around 7:30 Wednesday night. Police are still searching for the suspects.
All children across Illinois will soon need to be tested for lead exposure. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Effective July 1st, all Illinois zip codes will be covered under a state law calling for precautionary testing to ensure children are not harmed by exposure to lead. Previously, Illinois lead testing requirements applied only to children living in high-risk zip codes. Under the new standard, which takes effect July 1st, all Illinois children, wherever they live, will get a blood test automatically at 12 and 24 months. All children 6 years of age and younger will be required to be assessed for lead exposure through the use of a questionnaire administered by a healthcare provider. Under Illinois law, blood tests that come back with confirmed excess lead levels will require a public health intervention. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Missouri funding cuts and restrictions could be on the horizon for state departments because of a tight budget year. Governor Mike Kehoe has until next Tuesday to finalize the Missouri legislature's $50.7 billion state budget proposal. During Tuesday's State Board of Education meeting, Deputy Commissioner Kyle Cruz said the proposal would underfund K through 12 schools by about $190 million.
So between the $190 million the formula called for next year that we are not going to receive, and then the $118 million that has been at least partially filled by one-time money, there could be a substantial shortfall.
State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick says Missouri is spending more money than it is making, so he encourages the governor to slash spending where possible to balance the budget.
A new medical school expansion in Southwest Missouri taking a major step forward this week. The University of Missouri held a ribbon cutting Wednesday for its new Springfield campus. Richard Barron, dean of the MU School of Medicine, says the project will allow students to complete all 4 years of medical school in Springfield.
So we've been sending medical students in their 3rd and 4th year to get clinical training down at Cox and at Mercy hospitals. But now we are widening that experience to make the Springfield campus a full 4-year medical school.
Barron says the first class of 32 students set to begin next summer.
Calling all parents who think their child might be interested in coding. The St. Louis County Library is offering a 4-week summer program designed to teach teens how to code. It's available for free for kids ages 10 to 14.
So there is a lottery system. We usually open the lottery for 1 week, and then we randomly choose our participants because we only have spots for anywhere from 10 to 12 participants, depending on the size of the computer lab.
That's Emily McElvoy, the teen services coordinator at the library, who says participants will receive free Chromebook case, t-shirt at the end of the course. The lottery is now open through Sunday. We'll learn more at 7:22.
Well, we are headed into some storms again today, plus some extreme heat for the weekend. We are going to check the forecast coming up along with the traffic in just a few minutes here on Total Information AM. It's 7:07.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, We decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for Fair Taxation.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's check in with Roger Brand, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center. What's going on out there?
Well, Tom, the biggest problem we have is still this jackknife tractor trailer that our KMOX commuter Susan called in about earlier. I knew it was out there. I just couldn't see what was blocked, but she said 2 left lanes, and I can see that MoDOT does have those 2 left lanes blocked now just east of the Natural Bridge exit. This tractor trailer's up on the guardrail, so they're going to have to get a big rig tow truck to winch it out. They just can't sort of, straighten it out and get going, so it's going to be out there for a little while longer. Traffic's a solid jam back to Lindbergh, only the right lane's getting past it. Again, just to get around the bend there east of the airport at Natural Bridge on eastbound Highway 70. Eastbound 270, still a little bit of a backup midway around the bend from McDonald Lindbergh. We had a minor crash there. They're working to deal with these crashes. A couple of slide-offs they were reporting. Southbound 61 at Highway 70. Southbound 61, not a solid jam, but it is slow north of Wentzville Parkway. It's almost midway back to Highway P coming down to 70 right now, so be prepared if you're headed that way. A spin-out crash. This one looks like it's up on the guardrail as well. They have the right lane blocked, eastbound 64, right at the Vandeventer exit. So it's really the exit lane. You can get around it and get off at Vandeventer, but traffic's heavy there. Westbound 64, it's a little slow coming through Bellevue, and the right lanes are a little busy at Hanley. Other than that, there's light traffic on a Friday morning. So even in the work zones, it's just a little busy. Northbound 255, north of 5570 up to Horseshoe Lake Road. Normally we'd be seeing a jam there at this time. Next update at 7:20 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, a flood watch is in effect through this evening. Will continue to be humid with showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Watch for flooding downpours, hail, and damaging winds, high 78. Showers and thunderstorms sink slowly southward tonight. Rather cloudy and humid with a low near 70. A thunderstorm again tomorrow. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We do still have rain around the region, 70 in Florissant, in St. Peters, and 70 as well downtown at the Arch.
It's 7:11. The conversation around mental health treatment for veterans seems to be shifting.
At least that's according to John Eaton, the vice president for complex care at the Wounded Warrior Project. He says many of the 8,000 veterans the project serves are taking part in alternative therapies like psychedelics, and they're seeing results.
In the realm of PTSD treatment, it's been over 20 years since we've seen an FDA-approved new treatment, and we're on the threshold of seeing several over the next 2 years.
Eaton says even veterans who have avoided traditional therapies are participating in these alternative programs.
And so I think it really just highlights where we're at from the field of mental health and shifting from kind of a reactive state to a very deeply personalized plan.
Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
Governor J.B. Pritzker says junk fees are gone once and for all. He says he's tackling abuses in the ticketing marketplace and fighting for greater oversight and consumer protection.
Pritzker says families deserve to know exactly what they're paying for before they click buy.
We're also addressing abuses in the ticket marketplace. Attending a concert, a show, or a sporting event has become out of reach for too many families, not because demand is always high, but because bots and speculators have found ways to game the system. This bill cracks down on automated ticket purchasing bots that scoop up tickets before real fans have a chance to buy them. Illinoisans shouldn't have to compete against armies of computer programs or AI just to enjoy a night out.
Pritzker says his slate of bills cuts costs for working families while advancing transparency, fairness, and accountability on behalf of Illinoisans. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The bipartisan affordable housing bill is in limbo after President Trump refused to sign it without passage of the Save America Act. The act would create a national list of approved voters eligible to receive mail-in ballots from the Postal Service. It would also create new regulations to increase the Postal Service's oversight of mail-in voting.
U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois says Mr. Trump is holding married women who have taken their husband's name hostage.
In order to have housing for young Americans, young people who want to buy their first home, who don't see home ownership as being something that they can achieve.
Duckworth tells MS Now President Trump is the man who has never defended the Constitution.
And he doesn't have a single member of his family serving in uniform to defend this nation, and yet he wants to take the liberties and freedoms away from everyone else.
A federal judge has blocked part of President Trump's executive order restricting mail-in voting.
Also in the news, skating.
Hello and welcome, everybody. It is a beautiful Tuesday here in St. Louis.
That was back in January. The U.S. Figure Skating Championship was here.
An impact study was done by the Sports Commission that shows a huge financial impact, almost $16 million during what's typically a slow time of the year. There were novice and junior competitions in Maryland Heights, and the nationally televised championship was over 5 days at Enterprise Center. And if you combine them, they drew 91,000 fans. The St. Louis Sports Commission is a privately funded nonprofit organization. They produced the event. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
Who will be skating for the St. Louis Blues this upcoming season? It's interesting. The Blues have 4 first-round picks in tonight's NHL draft. 4. Numbers 11, 15, 16, which they got in the Jordan Kyrou trade a few days ago, and number 29. Will they deal 1, 2, all 4 of the picks? What could they get with 4 first-round picks? Almost anything, you would think. And GM Doug Armstrong knows that. Since making the Kyrou trade, things have ramped up. Here he was just a couple of days ago talking about the plans ahead.
And then, it started this morning. So the way we started today, Andy, our crossover amateur scouts here, we started at 8 a.m. We're meeting now. We went through every scenario. Okay, to that question before, let's say we move all of these picks. What player would we stop at moving all of those picks for? Then you go through, let's say we move 11 and 15. How far can we get? 11, 16, that's the same pick. And then, or let's say we can move both 15 and 16, how we can get. So then you start to, you work through that with the amateur staff, and then we'll get together with the pro staff and say, okay, what players fit the criteria that we want? And that's where I say the benefit of having extra time for teams to see, does St. Louis, do we have something that might be attractive to St. Louis? But we're not in the game to the level we are if we don't make the last 3 player transactions, because you just don't have the assets.
That's Doug Armstrong in his final week as general manager. He's going to hand those reins off to Alex Steen, although he will remain president of hockey operations. It is very interesting. The Blues have been reported to want Jason Robertson of Dallas, but he reportedly turned down an opportunity to come to St. Louis. The Blues have also been connected to the number 2 overall pick in the draft, which San Jose owns. Ivar Stenberg would be the possibility there. So it's getting very interesting, and the draft begins tonight. Let's turn our attention to baseball. The Cardinals are in action tonight.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. No baseball last night at Busch Stadium. The weatherman won out, and as it turned out, the Diamondbacks took 2 out of 3 in the series. The homestand continues tonight with the Cardinals welcoming in the Miami Marlins.
And probably good for the Cardinals starting rotation as well as for their bullpen to get that extra day of rest, as we hope that the Cardinals can get a rebound from that. And get deeper into ball games. The starters and very solid out of the bullpen. The Cardinals offense has been fine, and look forward to this series. The Miami Marlins, a better team than everybody thought they would be. But of course, people are saying the same thing about the St. Louis Cardinals.
And last night's game against the D-backs will be made up Thursday, July 23rd. First pitch at 4:15 at Busch Stadium, with the Cardinals coming back from Arizona and the Anaheim Angels.
It'll be a short rest on that day for the Cardinals, but that's what baseball players sign up for.
The Cardinals, no baseball until tonight. First pitch, 7:15 at Busch Stadium.
Kind of the game sponsored by the Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. I'm going basketball on this one.
12 on the shot clock. Green around the screen. To Robbie, to the lane, off the window. Yes! Oh, es lento pero apostante. That's all you got to do.
Robbie Avila, he is taking his talents to the Los Angeles Lakers, at least for now. He has signed what's called an Exhibit 10 contract with the Lakers. That is a 1-year contract, not guaranteed, and he'll be involved in training camp, summer league, preseason. We'll see if he can make that team. And Deion Brown did the same with the Brooklyn Nets. The United States men's national team lost last night to Turkey. Final was 3-2, but they had already qualified for the round of 32, the knockout round in the World Cup. They'll be taking on Bosnia and Herzegovina on July 1st. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals and Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
We are on the biggest stage in the world right now, and you know I am talking about soccer. The whole world is paying attention, and FanDuel has decided to change the game. And as you know, if you bet soccer, that sometimes your player gets subbed out, and then what happens? Your bet goes with them. Well, FanDuel says we have a better way to do it. That's not happening anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues with the substitute. So you are still in it until the final whistle. Just go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started now. I've been telling you about this app for many, many months. I love using it. It's easy to use. All the information you need is right there. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I know you listen to the news, and I do too, and there's always some report about the housing market and what it's doing. But if you need to sell a home, instead of sweating all those stories and trying to figure out what that means for you, you just need the right agent who can sell your home regardless of what's going on out there. So shut out all that noise. Call Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and then you can just take a deep breath and a sigh of relief because you know Gloria is going to sell your home because she guarantees it in writing to sell your home at the price and time frame you both agree upon, or she will buy your home herself. I don't know if you can find other agents who will guarantee the same. I don't think so. By the way, Gloria is also growing her team. So if you or someone you know wants to level up a real estate career, Gloria Liu is hiring motivated inside sales and listing agents. So if you want to work with a proven winner and the best in the business, give Gloria a call today. Or if you want her to sell your home, call her as well. 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We do have some slowdowns out there. Let's get the latest on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, there's still no change, Megan, with our primary problem, and that's that jackknife semi that has the two left lanes shut down. It's up on the guardrail, at least part of it is, on eastbound 70 just past the Natural Bridge exits. Only the right lane is open. Traffic's a solid jam at Cypress. Eastbound 70 is also a little slow coming through our city into 270. Southbound 61 still backed up Wentzville Parkway down to 64. We had a couple of cars, slide-offs reported in that area. They're working a crash, really not causing a problem. It's at the end of the ramp from Chesterfield Airport Road getting onto westbound 64 just before you hit the Boone Bridge. Traffic seems to be getting around it okay right now. And they have the right lane shut down for this minor spin-out crash car up on the guardrail. Looks to be up on the guardrail. They have the right lane shut down eastbound to 64 east of Kings Highway. Just a little slow there. Westbound 64, those right lanes are a little busy coming out from Big Bend to Hanley. Otherwise, the rest of these interstates look good except North County, where we had that other minor incident eastbound 270 before Lindbergh. Traffic backs up midway around the bend toward McDonald. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Are moles tearing up your yard? Don't let these lawn invaders turn your beautiful property into a mess. Rottler Pest Solutions offers professional mold control services to protect your lawn from damage. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection.
We have a flood watch in effect through this evening, mostly cloudy and humid, showers and even a heavy thunderstorm today. High 78. Showers and thunderstorms sink slowly southward tonight, says Heather Zaire. Otherwise, cloudy and humid, low near 70. Tomorrow, there is a chance of a thunderstorm or two around, but otherwise, we'll get some peaks of sun and it'll stay humid with a high of 84. Right now, we have some rain and 70 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:22. There's a free summer class in St. Louis County that teaches young teens how to code. The St. Louis County Library's Coding 101 class, taught by Emily McAvoy, the library's teen services coordinator. She tells KMOX's Jade Aubrey about the more than 4-week program.
So the Coding 101, it is a 4-week series. Our participants meet for 2 hours once a week, and we use code.org. They have a curriculum that goes through different components of coding. So there's different lessons, and so participants go through probably about 2 to 3 lessons a week and get familiar with different aspects of coding over the time. And at the end, everyone gets a Chromebook, a case, and a t-shirt.
Is it for all children in St. Louis County?
It is for everyone in St. Louis County ages 10 to 14.
Got it. And where can they sign up?
So there is a lottery system. We usually open the lottery for 1 week. We advertise that on our social media, and it's a way you can put in all of your information, and then we randomly choose our participants because we only have spots for anywhere from 10 to 12 participants to take part in Coding 101, depending on the size of the computer lab. So it fills up very fast if we were to just take phone calls. So to give everyone more of an equal shot in trying to get in, we do a lottery. I run that. It's randomly. We choose our participants and contact everyone that's been chosen. And then, the lottery is open right now until Sunday.
When would the class start?
So our next one will start, we're having one at our Clark Family Branch. It will start on July 13th and go until August 3rd.
Okay, so there's multiple different branches throughout the summer?
For the summer, we just have the one, and in the fall, we'll have it at 2 of our branches, Bridgeton Trails and Grants View. We typically do about 5 sessions a year, 2 in the spring, 1 in the summer, and 2 in the fall.
Got it. Is this a new program, or has this been running for a while?
It's not a new program. We have actually been running Coding 101 since 2017. We've had a little over about 360 participants come through the program. We had to take a little bit of a break during COVID, but we've been running at least 3 to 4 to 5 sessions a year since 2017.
Wow, that's a long time. What's the goal of the workshop? What's the point of all of that?
The goal of Coding 101 is to expose teens ages 10 to 14 to coding. Sometimes they get it in school, but sometimes they don't. So it's a way for them to just be able to play around with it, see it, and see if it's something that they would be interested in pursuing. So it's very much an introductory to coding and to kind of show kids that they can do it. We just want to be there and show them different things that they can participate in.
And I'm wondering why that age group, because in my head, I'm thinking like 15, 16, 17-year-olds are probably a bit more tech and program savvy. Why 10 through 14-year-olds?
So 10 to 14, we want to expose them to this young. Code.org, it has programs for all ages. When we started this, we were using a very specific Google program. They're Google CS First. And they had done it for ages 10 to 14. And we've just kind of stayed with that. It's a really fun age to work with as well, to see them work through an issue, like something like their code is not lining up exactly how they want it. And to see them when the light bulb goes off is kind of amazing. It's an age where they're working with each other in the class, helping each other out, and just trying to get it so everyone can get their code to run. It's a really fun age. And so we just want them to kind of have this introductory part of coding, and then they can move on to maybe harder code or whatever they're interested in.
That's KMOX's Jade Aubrey speaking with the St. Louis County Library's Teen Services Coordinator, Emily McAvoy.
It is 7:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey guys, it's Glover. Right now, buy 4 windows and get 4 free and 48 months with 0% interest, same as cash. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Hi, this is Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This is it. Make no mistake, this is your last chance to live in the beautiful Cotterville Trails. We have a wide variety of market-ready homes and several home sites on a cul-de-sac that back to common ground. Save over $58,000 plus special 4.75% financing on select homes for qualified buyers. Visit McKelveyHomes.com. Isn't it time to move up to McKelvey?
The Zoo football is almost here. Get ready for the season opening kickoff in Como game on Thursday, September 3rd, with 4 tickets for only $80. Be there to see the finished Memorial Stadium Centennial Project, a deal for the entire family to enjoy the home opener. Let's keep the sellout streak alive and bring the energy as we kick off the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium. Purchase your 4 tickets for $80 at mutigers.com/kickoff in Como. MIZ.
Your 401k, 403b, and IRA, it's a future tax time bomb. I'll help you retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Let's avoid all those taxes on your IRA or 401k. Get your retirement questions answered. Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX FM 104.1. And then see your tax time bomb at checkwithgary.com.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Chris Ranchi and Amy Marks Kors connect you with the people, places, and conversations that bring our community together.
And now you get to hear about poo-poo in a box from a firefighter.
No, come on.
The hammerhead worm. And you get to hear about car fires.
And sinkholes.
And sinkholes. I love our newsroom. I think they're doing a great job.
From neighborhood happenings to local heroes, from everyday challenges to unforgettable stories. Chris and Amy, weekdays from 9 to noon on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At 7:30, we have cloudy skies, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. There are some backups, Roger Brand, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, a couple of eastbound jams on the north side, Tom, that we're still dealing with. They're still dealing with this jackknife semi. That's the biggest problem, I think, that's blocking the two left lanes, eastbound 70, just past the Natural Bridge exits. Only the right lane's open. Traffic's backed up, jammed at Lindbergh on eastbound 70. Now, eastbound 70 is also slow east of the Blanche and into 270. And we still have this crash on eastbound 270 before Lindbergh. Right lanes, I think, is blocked there. Traffic's backed up at McDonald now, so that's getting a little worse. Southbound 270, south of Olive down to Ladue, that's slow. Still working the crash. Westbound 64 at the end of the Chesterfield Airport Road on-ramp. It looks like they have the right through lane block there as well, but since it's westbound, it's really not causing a problem. Southbound 61 still a little slow. Midway down from Wentzville Parkway to Interstate 70, where you had a couple of earlier crashes. Eastbound 64, there's slow traffic coming through Big Bend, Bellevue, McCausland. It jams east of Hampton, but they just opened up the right lanes. They had all lanes shut down temporarily. That spin-out crash near Vanaventer, so everything's open and back to normal there, but it's just traffic unwinding through that area. And on the Illinois side, we have slow traffic on northbound 255 from 5570 headed up to Horseshoe Lake Road. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
There's a flood watch in effect through this evening. Mostly cloudy, humid with showers, even a heavy thunderstorm today, a high of 78 degrees. Showers and thunderstorms again tonight, cloudy and humid overnight with a low near 70. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, humid again, thunderstorms possible, a high of 84. Again, cloudy skies, 70 downtown at the Arch.
And the Midwest could be trapped under a heat dome as we head toward the 4th of July. AccuWeather forecasters say St. Louis may rack up 8 straight days with highs at or above 90. Actual temperatures in some metro areas in the middle of the nation could approach triple digits over the next week.
The parents of a girl who was raped when she was 12 years old by an adult stranger she met on Snapchat have sued its parent company Snap and the attacker in Missouri court. The lawsuit claims the social media company refused to disable dangerous features in its app or warn parents about potential harms. Defendant Gabriel Joel Valentin Rios pleaded guilty to statutory rape and is currently serving an 18-year prison sentence in Missouri.
Lack of training due to a shortage of correctional officers is to blame for a group of detainees taking over a housing unit at the county jail in February, according to the acting director of Justice Services, Tim Ware.
Decisions made during that process could have been different or made in a more timely manner. And that's what we're going to work on in some extensive training.
Ware says the riot lasted 40 minutes, and although there were no injuries, the damage is estimated to be $30,000. Who pays for that?
When a detainee or a resident damages something within the jail, that's documented, and that can be taken off their books if they have money on their books. If not, ultimately, yes, the county would have to pay for the damages.
Ware has only been on the job for a little over a week. When asked if this incident is why there was a leadership change, he said the jail, quote, is working on its organizational structure.
The Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge rose to a new 3-year high in May as gas prices peaked. The increase largely driven by more expensive gas, as well as pricier semiconductors and other computer equipment that are in high demand for an AI build-out. Rising prices have caused the inflation fighters at the Federal Reserve to keep the key rate unchanged this year, a reversal from January when they had penciled in 2 cuts. Some economists forecast the central bank could increase rates this year instead.
We'll check your Money Minute next. It's 7:34. The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Money Report now. It's sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Moody's releasing a new report saying that an influx of data center projects with their heavy power and water demands are leading to credit risks for state and local governments. The centers are key to powering the booming artificial intelligence industry and are popping up across the country. While they present economic growth opportunities, the facilities have become a flashpoint in communities worried about rising electricity costs, water scarcity, and noise pollution. Volkswagen is looking to cut more jobs and may close factories to make Europe's biggest automaker more competitive. VW could reduce its overall headcount by 100,000. That's according to Manager Magazine, citing people familiar with the matter. The owner of Audi and Porsche currently employs 657,000 people globally. Mortgage rates are once again moving in the wrong direction. According to Freddie Mac, the average for a 30-year fixed loan rose to 6.49% from 6.47% just a week earlier. Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
I'm with Mark Cantor of Cantor Injury Law. And Mark, why is it so important for you to be a local law firm?
Well, being local means more than just advertising here, more than just a billboard on the highway. It means showing up here. It means supporting local events and local charities.
But why is local so important?
It's important because we know the law, we know the judges, we know the roads, and we understand the community.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
You can count on Cantor. Visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, Skin Cancer Awareness this summertime, and we're joined by Dr. Aubriana McAvoy, a WashU medicine surgeon.
So I think most importantly, don't ignore a spot that's changing because early detection can save lives, and a quick skin check today could prevent a much bigger problem down the road.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Summer is officially here, and that means the family internet, it is working overtime. All our lives are always online, and that's why I rely on i3 broadband. Traditional cable just can't keep up, but i3 delivers 100% true fiber directly into my home for ultra smooth, reliable performance. Plus, they're a local provider that actually treats you like a neighbor. Skip the fake fiber. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 broadband is here for you.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Get inside your Redbirds and the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
7:40 now. Let's check in with Roger Brand again, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, they just cleared that crash we had out there for a while, eastbound 270 before Lindbergh. The right lane was blocked, but it looks like all lanes are open now. Traffic, though, is backed up near Missouri Bottom, so it's before you even get to McDonald Boulevard. At westbound 270, going the other way, approaching New Florissant through Graham Hanley's kind of slow. Eastbound Highway 70, still a little busy traffic. Earth City into 270. You are jammed from Lindbergh up to Natural Bridge. Those two left lanes remain closed just past the Natural Bridge exit. Jackknife tractor trailer stuck up on the guardrail, so only the right lane's getting by. That's why that's a solid jam and not moving very quickly, unfortunately. Now, southbound 270 from Olive down to Ladou's busy. North 270 north of Doherty Ferry up to Manchester. That's the busiest part. Eastbound 64 backed up through 170 to about Big Bend. South 170 is backed up at the Youth Club Tower. And eastbound 64 is also slow east of Kings Highway to Vanderbilt because of that recent crash. Westbound 64 Big Bend out to Hanley is typically heavy through there right now. Then on the Illinois side, we have a slowdown. Westbound 70 across the Mutual Veterans Bridge, and northbound 255 is heavy just as you approach Horseshoe Lake Road. Not too terrible for you there right now. And also we have it's a stall they're trying to clear. Eastbound 44 is east of 141. Right lane's blocked. Just a short jam as you approach 141 to that one. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
More storms are possible as we head into the weekend. Let's get the latest from AccuWeather's Heather Zaire.
And we have been keeping our eyes on showers and thunderstorms already this morning. One area moving away from St. Louis now, but we do have more off to the west. So we are going to continue to have these showers and thunderstorms moving through during the day. Heaviest thunderstorms mostly for the midday and afternoon hours and even into the evening. Those can bring flooding, downpours, hail, and damaging winds. Even downpours and showers, though, can aggravate any kind of flooding issues. A flood watch remains in effect until this evening. As we head through the overnight hours, we're going to begin to dry things out as the showers and thunderstorms slowly sink southward through the area. We'll drop down to around 70 degrees. The best chance of a thunderstorm or two tomorrow likely ends up in those southern areas where there could be locally strong storms. Can't rule that out anywhere, though, with only some peaks of sun and a high of 84. Then we're kicking off the heat wave. Sunday, mostly sunny, very hot and humid with a high of 96. AccuWeather real field temperatures get up to 107 degrees. The heat continues to build early next week. Lots of sunshine both days. Temperatures getting close to 100 by Tuesday with AccuWeather real field temperatures near 110. 70 in St. Peter's right now, 69 in Florissant, and 71 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, Heather. It's 7:42, sports in 3 minutes. The Florida immigration facility known as Alligator Alcatraz is closing after a year in existence with many complaints.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
I don't think you would see us doing this again. This was temporary. This was an emergency measure.
At a Thursday news conference, he said federal Homeland Security did not have resources.
The funding they got last summer had not passed yet. And they were in a situation where they could not keep these people. They didn't know what to do with them. They didn't have the space.
Lawsuits alleged environmental violations, inhumane conditions for detainees, no working bathrooms, insects, and inedible food.
New worries for hundreds of thousands of people living in the United States after a decision at the Supreme Court Thursday. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
In a 6-3 ruling, the Supreme Court clearing the way for the Trump administration to cancel the temporary immigration status of hundreds of thousands of Haitians and Syrians. This ruling will impact those immigrants and their families who have been living and working legally in the U.S. for years, forcing them to leave or face deportation.
House Speaker Mike Johnson met with President Trump for several hours at the White House one day after the president refused to sign a bipartisan housing bill unless Congress passed his election bill first. That bill is called the Save America Act, and it includes things like proof of citizenship in order to register and a photo ID to cast a ballot.
Speaker Johnson says Congress will send the bipartisan housing bill to President Trump to sign, but did not specify when. The transmission would start a 10-day clock for the president to sign or veto the bill. Otherwise, it would become law. President Trump called for Republican unity on his social media platform. Speaker Johnson says they're on the same page.
Very productive meeting. We're on exactly the same page. He wants to ensure that we stop any blockade in the House. Congress has work to do, and that's what we're going to do. And so we'll be moving forward on all of that. We're transmitting the housing bill to the White House.
And some claims by a FEMA official, including one that sounds like it's straight out of Star Trek, are now costing him his job. Here's ABC's Perry Russell.
Greg Phillips, a high-ranking official at the Federal Emergency Management Agency, has reportedly been put on leave after drawing controversy for his past remarks, including claims that he once teleported to a Waffle House restaurant. Phillips also claimed without evidence that millions of people voted illegally in the 2016 election, posting on social media at the time, number of non-citizen votes exceeds 3 million.
Well, how about this one from Paul Sewald posting on X last night? Who is Paul Sewald, you ask? He is a reliever for the Arizona Diamondbacks who got rained out last night. He said, "No, you're right. Thank you, Cardinals, for not moving our game up to this afternoon when we politely asked, given the whole world knew it was going to rain tonight." Sewald goes on to say, "I actually was really hoping we could lose an off day and turn it into a 4-city road trip." Sewald was met with sharp criticism and comments from Cardinals fans, as you can imagine, calling him basically whiny and etc. The Cardinals have bigger things to worry about. They are the Miami Marlins, who play tonight at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals will play Thursday, July 23rd against the Diamondbacks. That will be a 4:15 start that day. Tonight's game is at Busch Stadium. It's at 7:15, weather permitting. As we mentioned, there are thunderstorms in the forecast for today. Michael McGreevy is the starting pitcher. Now, this Marlins team is good. They are in the hunt for the wild card in the National League. The Cardinals have fallen to the third wild card team. They're 7 out in the division. The Cubs have jumped them. Cubs are a half game in front of them in both the wild card and the division. The Phillies now lead the wild card in the National League. Down in Memphis, interesting move yesterday in that Jared Schuster became the starting pitcher when the Cardinals bumped Bryson Motts from the start. We'll see what that means moving forward. Schuster allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, walked none, struck out 4 in 3 innings. Luis Gastelum, he's really good. Tossed a scoreless frame, lowered his ERA to 2.45 and struck out 2. But Memphis lost the game 10-4 to Jacksonville. The big highlight was Nolan Gorman. He hit his first home run at AAA this season with a solo blast in the top of the 8th inning. It went a long way. And Memphis returns to AutoZone Park on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the St. Louis Blues have a huge day in front of them. It is the NHL draft tonight, and GM Doug Armstrong left all kinds of crumbs for people to gobble up this week when he talked after the Jordan Kyrou trade. Take a listen to this. And by the way, I should mention that Armstrong will be our guest on Sports on a Sunday morning after this NHL draft.
It's what's in the war chest when we wake up Sunday morning. And it could be NHL players, it could be prospects, but there's going to, we're either going to have one of two things. If we draft all 4 players and all 13, we'll probably shoot up in the rankings of prospects pools around the league. And if we trade for established players, people will say we're a better team than we were today on Sunday because we've had NHL players. So it gives us some opportunity to try and get as creative as other teams will allow us to.
That is Doug Armstrong in his final week as GM. He will become president of hockey operations, and Alex Steen will take over as GM after this draft. The Blues have 4 first-round picks in tonight's NHL draft. Ravi Avila was not drafted, but he has signed an Exhibit 10 contract with the Los Angeles Lakers, which basically means he'll spend the summer with them, training camp, summer league, and the preseason to try to make the team. Deion Brown did the same with the Brooklyn Nets. And the United States men's national team lost to Turkey in the World Cup 3-2. Doesn't matter. They're moving on to play Bosnia and Herzegovina in the knockout round on July 1st. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog, but they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support, all in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mira Fiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mira Fiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
Get ready for a night back with legendary hits and non-stop energy.
I got my first real 6-string.
Brian Adams is bringing the Roll with a Bunches tour to Enterprise Center Friday, July 24th.
Hello, this is Brian Adams.
Sing along to the classics as Brian Adams delivers an unforgettable night of rock anthems. Plus, special guests Pat Benatar and Neil Girardo. Brian Adams, July 24th. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:51. We need to get you another update on your ride into work this morning. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, eastbound 70 is still trouble. As a matter of fact, they're diverting traffic off now at the Natural Bridge exit. So obviously the big rig tow truck's on the scene, and they need all the lanes to get this jackknife semi up off the guardrail and out of there. So eastbound 70 drivers having to exit at Natural Bridge. You can take Natural Bridge east to 170 and then go north or south on 170 to either go north to access eastbound 70 again or south just to go down to 64. Eastbound 70 is at a standstill at Lindbergh right now. If you're on eastbound 364 Page, crossing over 270, bit of a backup there. South 270, Olive down to Ladou's busy, but North 270 looks great coming up from 55. They cleared that stall eastbound 44 east to 141. It's just slow between Bowles and Miraz now. Eastbound 64, you've got slow traffic. Right as you hit 170 to Big Bend, South 170 just busy from Brentwood to 64, westbound 64, Bellevue out to Hanley is just kind of slow. And on the Illinois side, there's just some slow traffic northbound 255 north of 5570 through Horseshoe Lake Road. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Roger, we're in a flood watch through this evening. Mostly cloudy and humid with showers and a heavy thunderstorm in the forecast, a high of 78 today. Showers and thunderstorms sink slowly southward, says Heather Zaire, tonight, and then cloudy and humid, low near 70. Tomorrow, clouds, peaks of sun, humid with a thunderstorm or two around, but otherwise a high of 84 degrees. Currently, it's just humid out there. We have a little bit of rain falling here and there in the city. It's 71 degrees.
More news now at 7:53. Dealing with scams is pretty much a part of our everyday lives. There are spam calls, emails, and text messages wanting you to urgently click on suspicious links. And a new survey from the Associated Press finds most people are inundated with scam attempts on a daily basis. About 3 in 10 have personally lost money or personal information to those scams.
Attorney David Meyer works with scam victims. He says he gets targeted too and received 3 sketchy calls yesterday just in one day.
At this point, it's no longer a fringe problem. It's part of what we deal with every day. And most people just have no idea how close they are to the edge, because responding to any of these texts or communications or direct messages or social media ads, can cause significant financial loss. I mean, it's billions and billions of dollars losses every year from Americans of their life savings. That's how big of a problem it is. I mean, it's no longer a criminal problem. This is really a public health crisis. That's how bad it is.
Meyer says adults 60 and older are the biggest targets.
And the scams that are aimed at them they're the most sophisticated. Elderly folks are targeted primarily because those are the ones that have the money, right? Those are the folks who have the longest amount of time to save money. So the reason why robbers rob banks, the joke goes, is because that's where the money is. Well, the reason why these scammers target elderly folks is because they're more likely to have money. They're also more likely to maybe live alone. They also may be more likely to suffer some type of cognitive decline. So it's really the perfect storm of why scammers target retirees. And the scams are a wide variety, but the ones we see most are like investment opportunities. You've probably seen this tech support fraud where someone reaches out to try to claim that you have a problem on your computer, and it's all just designed to steal your money.
Meyer says technology like AI is making it easier for scammers to target more and more people. It also makes the scam emails and text messages seem more believable. So how can we protect ourselves?
Your listeners just need to understand that literally anything they see online, they should assume it's fake. I mean, it sounds so pessimistic, but anything promoting a fraud or a giveaway or crypto-related investment that they see online, you really, really need to assume it's fake. I mean, instead of the other way around where you just assume it's accurate and maybe there's part of you that thinks it's fake, the safest thing to do, and I'm not kidding, is to assume everything you see online relating to a potential investment or an opportunity, assume it's fake.
Meyer says scammers often create a sense of urgency. So if you're told to act now, it's probably a scam.
Some big price hikes coming fast for some popular consumer electronics. AI is to blame. Apple this week announcing it will be raising the prices of MacBooks and iPads by hundreds of dollars in some cases. Microsoft says the prices of Xbox video game consoles heading up too. Here's ABC's Andrea Fuji.
Why the big jump? The shortage of memory chips, which are being used in expanding artificial intelligence technology, leading to huge demand and increasing prices from the 3 companies that produce the chips. Apple explaining, we have never seen a component price increase this much, this quickly. Microsoft adding, the entire consumer electronics industry is struggling with the current components crisis. Experts warn prices may go even higher.
Apple says it's increasing the MacBook Pro by $300 to nearly $2,000, and the iPad Air is up $150, now selling for $749. It's 7:57.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
A divorce is more than just legal paperwork. It's a life change. The stress, the uncertainty, the tough conversations. Cordell & Cordell understands what it's really like to face the unknown. The law firm of Cordell & Cordell has been representing clients during these transitions for over 35 years, helping you focus on what matters most. If you or someone you know is facing a divorce or family law matter, visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kellwood, St. Louis. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner.
An update on the morning rush now with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Omega, no change on eastbound 70. They're still diverting the traffic off at the Natural Bridge exit for this jackknife trailer stuck up on the guardrail. They have a big rig tow truck on the scene right now working with it. It's a solid jam back at Lindbergh. We have a crash eastbound Page, just east of 270. Traffic's jammed back across 270. South 270, Olive down through Ladue is heavy. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Help is on the way for Venezuela, where this week's pair of earthquakes left survivors describing the streets of Caracas as looking like something out of a horror movie.
An international aid effort is mobilizing. The U.S. military and State Department sending support. And in Miami, volunteers with a global empowerment mission are packing up relief supplies.
ABC's Victor Oquendo, the death toll has just risen to 589 people. However, that number is expected to rise further as tens of thousands are still missing. Thursday's Supreme Court decision leaving thousands of immigrants wondering what's next for them. The court in a 6-3 ruling clearing the way for the Trump administration to strip legal protections from Haitians and Syrians who fled their countries following wars or natural disasters. President Trump says the Strait of Hormuz is open. However, overnight, Iranian drones struck a ship traveling through the waterway, damaging its bridge. This is ABC News. Jurors considering the case against the man accused of setting fire that sparked the Palisades blaze in Southern California cannot reach a verdict. ABC's Kevin Zodebek has more from Los Angeles.
That jury sent a note to the judge saying a verdict was reached only about 30 minutes later, to then send the judge another note saying, actually, there's a deadlock. For 2 days now, this jury has been deliberating. Before that, they were really presented with a ton of circumstantial evidence from prosecutors.
The Palisades fire destroyed more than 6,800 homes and businesses and killed at least a dozen people. International visitors here for the World Cup love their ranch dressing. They're buying so much of it and trying to take it home. Earlier this month, TSA had to offer guidance for how people should actually pack it for the trip. Now UPS wants to help out, offering a 20% discount on international shipping through the end of September. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 8:02, we have some light rain, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, June 26th. I'm Megan Lynch. We're heading into a potentially dangerous heat wave this weekend. AccuWeather predicts St. Louis may rack up 8 straight days with highs at or above 90. Forecasters say it'll feel like it's over 100 degrees multiple afternoons. That increases the risk of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Actual temperatures in some metro areas in the middle of the nation may approach triple digits. And we'll get the latest on the forecast coming up in about 5 minutes here on KMOX. Leaders at the St. Louis County Jail opening up about a riot in February.
The February 7th incident involved over 30 detainees taking over a housing unit, barricading themselves inside, and doing $30,000 worth of damage. This went on for 40 minutes before correctional officers used chemical dispersants to regain control. Newly appointed Acting Director of Justice Services, Tim Ware, says insufficient training was a problem.
We need to train on something like this on a regular basis, just like in the law enforcement world or in active shooters. We're training on that all the time. We need to train on this stuff. That's been hampered by our staffing challenges.
Ware was appointed to the position earlier this month, taking over for then Director Janelle Coleman. Asked if the change in leadership is due to this incident.
We're working on some organizational structure. We're using my extensive law enforcement experience and bringing that to the jail. And hopefully we can get some changes going.
Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The full report spans 100 pages and includes video footage of the incident. One of the suspects from the Steak and Shake drive-through shooting set to face trial today, 20-year-old Jada Bell, facing 4 charges, including first-degree murder in the killing of 32-year-old Chauncey Meekins, who was shot and killed April 8th. Beginning next month, all children across Illinois will need to be tested for excessive lead levels in their blood. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Under the new standard, which takes effect July 1st, all Illinois children, wherever they live in the state, are to be tested automatically at 12 and 24 months. All children 6 years of age and younger will be required to be assessed for lead exposure through the use of a questionnaire administered by a healthcare provider. Under Illinois law, blood tests that come back with confirmed excess lead levels will require a public health intervention. Previously, Illinois lead testing requirements applied only to children living in high-risk zip codes. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The Supreme Court sides with the maker of Roundup weed killer in a ruling expected to block thousands of lawsuits that allege the company failed to warn people the product could cause cancer. The case came before the justices after a tidal wave of litigation that included some multi-billion-dollar verdicts against global agrochemical manufacturer Bayer. In a 7-2 ruling, the High Court found that the company cannot be sued in state courts because federal regulations have found a cancer link unlikely and do not require a warning label. KMOX legal analyst Brad Young says the lawsuits based on the Missouri warning requirements will be thrown out.
Now, there may be other bases in these lawsuits for suing, but the vast majority of that Monsanto non-Hodgkin's lymphoma litigation, a large portion of that will now be over.
Bayer acquired Roundup when it bought its original manufacturer, Monsanto, in 2018. Tight budget times could lead to funding cuts and restrictions in Missouri's next state budget. State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick says Missouri is spending more money than it's bringing in. He's recommending Governor Kehoe cut budget spending and bills with a high price tag. During Tuesday's State Board of Education meeting, Deputy Commissioner Kyle Cruz explained how the legislature's budget proposal underfunding schools by about $190 million will impact districts.
It's going to vary dramatically district to district. There's 2 parts to that. Number one, how heavily does that district depend on local funding, property tax funding, versus how heavily does that district depend on formula funding?
The governor's deadline to finalize the budget next Tuesday. A new medical school expansion in Southwest Missouri expected to have a long-term impact on health care across the state. The University of Missouri held a ribbon cutting Wednesday for its new Springfield campus. Richard Barron, dean of the MU School of Medicine, says the goal is to train more doctors who will stay and practice in Missouri.
It's estimated we're currently overall 1,200 doctors short in Missouri. And we know that where doctors train is where they tend to practice. So it's a stickiness factor. So that's why it's important to train doctors in Southern Missouri.
The university's first class of 32 students plans to start in summer 2027, with enrollment expected to grow to 128 in Springfield by the year 2030. A St. Louis County Library program that's been running since 2017 continues to teach teens how to code. The 4-week Coding 101 class is free. Classes are twice a week starting July 13th at the Clark Family Branch. It's designed to introduce kids aged 10 to 14 to coding. Emily McAvoy runs the program and says that it's served more than 360 children over the years.
It's a really fun age to work with, to see them work through an issue like something like their code is not lining up exactly how they want it. And to see them when the light bulb goes off is kind of amazing.
We're going to check the forecast and the roads coming up in 2 minutes here on KMOX. It's 8:08.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder. But our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
8:10, time to check the morning rush with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we've only got one jam out there, Megan, and there's still no change, unfortunately. Eastbound 70, just past the Natural Bridge exit at the east end of the airport, we had a jackknife semi happen earlier this morning. They got hung up on the guardrail when it did so. They have eastbound 70 shut down now there while they have a big rig tow truck working with it to get it off the guardrail, hooked up and out of there. So you have to get off the Natural Bridge exit. Eastbound 70, a solid jam at Lindbergh up to that point. And once you get on the Natural Bridge again, you just go over to 170 and go north or southbound from there. Eastbound 70 is also just a little busy right through our city. South 270, south of Olive down to Ladue, that's still a little slow. They cleared that crash eastbound Page, east of 270. Things are back to normal there. South 170, south of Brentwood, ramping on to 64. That ramp's a little backed up. Otherwise, the interstates on the Missouri side look great. And there's just a little slowdown on northbound 255, north of 5570, headed through Horseshoe Lake Road through that construction zone. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Coming up on Total Information AM, the check is in the mail, or was it stolen? Check washing is one of the fastest growing scams out there. We'll check in with the FBI for details.
The flood watch continues through this evening. We'll have showers and even a heavy thunderstorm. Watch for flooding downpours, hail, and damaging winds in the strongest storms. Humid with clouds and a high of 78. The showers and thunderstorms move slowly off to the south overnight. It'll stay rather cloudy and humid with a low near 70. We'll have another thunderstorm or two, high 84 tomorrow. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The rain continues this morning, 70 degrees in Florissant and St. Peter's, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch, and here's Debbie Monterey.
Many of us worry about our identities being stolen because our information is all over the internet, but something as simple as writing a check can land you in a little trouble as well. Joining us right now is Chris Crocker, special agent in charge of the FBI's St. Louis division. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right, I came across this report and I thought this is something we have to let people know, because a lot of people, especially older people who don't like all the digital banking and everything, think that writing an actual check and mailing a check is the safest way to go. And that apparently is one of the fastest rising things for money fraud these days.
It is. We saw a doubling of reports of what we're calling check washing or check cooking schemes between 21 and 23. So that's obviously a huge increase. So we have seen that as a more organized scheme that we see occurring nationally over and over again.
So it's check washing because they are essentially somehow washing your check. Can you explain what they're doing with them?
Yeah. So what they'll do is they'll go in and they'll steal mail. They'll pull a check out of an envelope that appears it may have a check in it. And there's actually chemicals they can use to either erase the signature or the payee and replace that with their signature or with the payee that they want the money to go to. So they can actually alter these checks physically and then deposit them. So they come right out of your account to whoever accepts the check. They look completely legitimate, but in fact, it's a fraudulent act.
So you're just trying to be a good citizen and sending your check off to, say, Spire or Amarin or something, and then how would you find out? The next thing you know is instead of your $120 electric bill being paid, it would be something else to someone else?
Yeah, I think a lot of times the way people find out is they get contacted by that institution or their next bill shows a lack of payment for the previous cycle. And then they call the company to say, hey, I paid this. I sent the check in the mail and they never received it. And then they go look at their account and sure enough, the funds were withdrawn and they may have gone to a different place if the payee was changed. And they'll notice it that way. So that's typically how people find out. But yes, that's the problem is people are sending checks in mail thinking it's a secure way to pay their bills or pay their taxes. And in fact, it's not because the check gets stolen and cashed.
The president of the Postal Police Officers Association says we've entered an era of organized postal crime. Would you agree?
Yeah, it is. It's organized. This isn't like just some kid in the neighborhood going in and grabbing your mail out of your mailbox and stealing a check. This is actually an organized scheme. There are organizations and groups of people around the country that are doing this methodically, planning this out, providing instruction to people on how to carry it out. And yeah, it is an organized crime for sure.
And I imagine you're kind of flagging it right away for the people who are doing this because the people who send you a bill send you a nice little envelope to send it back to them. So it makes it pretty clear what's inside.
It does. I mean, if you see something that looks like a payment envelope, then that makes it pretty easy to figure out there's probably a check in there. And it's the same thing with birthday cards and things like that. People just assume there's something valuable inside that birthday card. They'll steal that out of the mail. And if in fact there is something in there, gift card or check, they'll steal it and that money's gone. A lot of times the money is gone before you know it's gone and there's really nothing you can do to get it back.
So I guess the next question is, what do we do? How are you supposed to pay your bills now? Are there ways that you can maybe use different ink or something that they can't wash off?
So there is ink. You can use indelible black ink. That does help. Our recommendation, honestly, is use electronic means to make payments wherever you can. I know that runs counterintuitive to some folks. They think that's less secure, but it actually isn't. Financial institutions have encrypted software they use to make sure those things are legitimate. They're usually done through double verification methods. So if you have the ability to send things electronically, that's our recommendation because it's much harder to conduct a fraud in the way they're doing it if you do electronic transfers.
Are these kind of crimes things that the FBI is working on and tracking down? And if so, how hard is it to actually track these folks down?
We are working on it. We work with the U.S. Postal Services and Inspection Service, and they they're kind of the primary for these things, but we work with them, especially in larger organized schemes that we see. When we identify those, then we'll get involved and open a fraud case. It's not typically all that hard to track these things down. It just takes time. And the bigger problem is a lot of people think, hey, if we solve this crime and figure out who did it, I'll get my money back. And that's often not the case because a lot of times those funds are gone and, we can issue seizure orders or the courts can issue punitive judgments. That doesn't mean you're going to get your money back. So our goal here is to help people prevent the crime from occurring and becoming victims themselves. So that way we don't find ourselves in that position, because realistically, even if we track the perpetrators down, you're probably not going to get your money back.
Now that we may have gotten people's attention, maybe there might be skeptics saying, oh, I'm sure it's not that big of a problem. How big in terms of numbers is this problem?
Well, the reporting we had in 23 and 24 was around 520 to 530,000 reports of this activity. And again, that is everyone who actually reported it, which we always assume there's a large number of incidents that occur that are never reported to the FBI. So you can take that number as an absolute minimum baseline and go up from there. So it's a significant problem. And just here locally, sort of from a personal standpoint, I've gotten calls from a lot of acquaintances of people who've fallen victim to this and just asking what to do. So it happens a lot. And I think that if there's, 100 people out there listening right now, which I know there's more than that, but several of them are probably already experienced this.
All right. So that's called check washing. And the solution, according to the FBI, do your banking online if you can. That is Chris Crocker, special agent in charge of the FBI St. Louis division. Thanks for telling us more about this.
Thanks again. I appreciate the time.
Coming up on Total Information AM, in case you missed it, at 8:24, I'll catch you up on the top local stories of the week. A check of traffic and weather is next.
It's not your typical game day look. Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals face the Miami Marlins, and fans can receive a soccer-style Cardinals jersey presented by Purina. Clean, sporty, and unmistakably Cardinals, it brings a fresh energy to the ballpark from first pitch on, and kids take home a vibrant Cardinals soccer ball to keep the action going long after the final out. 2 ways to play, one big Sunday. Get tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fred Birding games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family-favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/KidsSunday.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
8:20, time to check the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change, Megan, on eastbound 70 past the airport. Traffic still being diverted off at the Natural Bridge exit because of the jackknife semi just east of there with a big rig tow truck on the scene. It's a solid jam back at Lindbergh. Eastbound 70 is also slower city into 270. South 270, south of Olive down to Ladue is busy. You got EMS responding for a crash. A spin out eastbound 44 east of Pacific. Left lanes getting by. There's a short jam into Pacific on eastbound 44 right now. And there's just a little slowdown northbound 255, north of 5570 up to Horseshoe Lake Road in the work zone on the Illinois side. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast, there is a flood watch in effect through this evening. Mostly cloudy and humid today. Showers and a heavy thunderstorm possible. And those storms could bring flooding, downpours, hail, even damaging wind gusts today. Expect a high of 78 degrees. We may see more showers and thunderstorms tonight, otherwise cloudy and humid with a low near 70. And then tomorrow, clouds with some peaks of sun, humid with a thunderstorm or two around a high of 84. We have light rain, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, this is Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes, and this is it. Make no mistake, this is your last chance to live in Inverness at Bryan and Feisey Road. Save over $30,000 on one of our 2 remaining market-ready homes, and also special 4.75% financing for qualified buyers. Inverness is a beautiful community with trails, lakes, and a beautiful gazebo. Visit McKelveyHomes.com. Isn't it time to move up to McKelvey?
While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup this summer, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent. The future stars who are already turning heads at age 14. Because next doesn't wait for an invitation. And neither do we. Hyundai has always moved the future within reach. We did it when we made advanced safety standard on every vehicle and engineered EVs with ultra-fast charging capability. Because the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here. Next starts now. Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog, but they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
In case you missed it, Total Information AM highlighting some of the top stories of the week every Friday. Many experts say the global economy has been permanently altered by the Iran war. No matter what happens next, WashU economics professor John Horn says there's now much more uncertainty in the world.
Businesses in a lot of countries are starting to question, we always thought we were going to get oil, but now that might not be the case, and we don't know what's going to happen with these shocks.
Horn says energy drives everything, so that affects the price of everything. A survey of rural bankers in Missouri and other Midwest states shows mixed economic signs. Creighton University professor Ernie Gass says nearly 60% report stable or modest growth among small businesses.
It's not just the farming sectors and ranching sectors looking somewhat better, but the businesses on rural Main Street are looking somewhat better.
Gass tells Missouri Net agricultural exports to China have risen some, but are still down 68% compared to 2024. The one sector of the economy driving stocks higher is data centers.
I'm going to call for public hearing and as well as documents to be displayed to the public for a period of a minimum of 10 days.
Missouri State Representative Tricia Burns introducing legislation that would require transparency on all data centers before decisions are made, especially when it includes taxpayer dollars. Burns tells KMOX she's seen reports from other states where they were promised a great deal of employment and it didn't happen. Gravois was the most dangerous road in the city of St. Louis last year. TrailNet's State of Our Streets report documented 23 motor vehicle crashes on Gravois last year, resulting in 19 injuries and 4 deaths.
So we do see Gravois this year as both having the highest number of crashes involving vulnerable road users and the most fatalities. In previous years, it's always been in the top 3, 4, or 5 for the region as well. So this is a consistent problem.
Report author Eric Helmer, a St. Louis City firefighter on leave after doing something unthinkable.
Screenshots making rounds on social media purported to show a firefighter defecating inside a box in a food storage area inside Lambert Airport.
It happened earlier this month. The fire department confirmed that firefighter is on administrative leave. All the food in the storage area was thrown out. And the number of abuse and neglect cases among the elderly and disabled in Missouri is on the rise. The state hotline received 1,300 more calls than the previous year. Tim Jackson with Missouri's Adult Protective Services points out self-neglect cases make up the most reports.
Maybe a person has always been able to take care of their personal needs, their own activities of daily living, but they've gotten to a point where they are struggling with those. Maybe they can't do their own bathing or showering, preparing meals. Their home may be in disrepair.
Jackson says financial exploitation is the next highest reason for abuse complaints. It's now 8:27, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Amendment 4 on the August ballot hides some ugly facts. It would create a new minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that are citizen-led.
I just say no to that.
Amendment 4 permanently ends majority rule for citizen-led ballot issues.
I'm a no on 4.
Politicians put Amendment 4 on the ballot to severely limit citizens' constitutional power.
I say no on 4.
4 is a power grab by politicians. It lets one congressional district veto reforms backed by the majority of voters statewide, giving as few as 5% of voters control over the rest of us.
That's why I say no to 4.
4 would make it nearly impossible to rein in out-of-control politicians.
I say heck no.
4 takes away our constitutional power we've used for over 100 years to pass reforms that politicians wouldn't. Keep majority rule and your power. Just say no to Amendment 4. It's an ugly politician power grab. Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
And now at Staples, save 25% on all custom banners.
Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. Some banners available same day when ordered by 12 p.m. Ins 8-1 exclusions apply.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The cookie cutter approach works well if you're making cookies, but not so well when you're trying to plan for retirement. If you want a customized income strategy, call Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group today. 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Chris Ronchi and Amy Markscours connect you with the people, places, and conversations that bring our community together.
And now you get to hear about poo-poo in a box from a firefighter.
No, come on.
The hammerhead worm. And you get to hear about car fires.
And sinkholes.
I love our newsroom. I think they're doing a great job.
From neighborhood happenings to local heroes, from everyday challenges to unforgettable stories. Chris and Amy, weekdays from 9 to noon on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
8:30. We've had those problems for a lot of the morning on eastbound Highway 70. Let's see if that's getting any better. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, you're right, Megan. That jackknife tractor trailer happened early on. Unfortunately, it got hung up on top of a guardrail, so it wasn't just a matter of straightening it out and getting going. So it's a lengthier cleanup process. That's eastbound 70 at the Natural Bridge exit or just east of there, but they're diverting traffic off at the Natural Bridge exit currently eastbound 70. Eastbound 70 is slow east of the Blanchett into Earth City, and then it's jammed from pretty much Lindbergh up to Natural Bridge. Southbound 270 south of Olive down to 64. That's heavy. Still working this spin-out crash with only the left lane open. Eastbound 44 east of Pacific, there's a jam almost a half mile long coming into Pacific, it looks like right now on eastbound 44. It looks like we may have an incident. Northbound 55 at 3200 Broadway. Traffic is backed up briefly right at Potomac. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, we do have a flood watch in effect through this evening. Mostly cloudy, humid with showers and a heavy thunderstorm today, a high 78 degrees. Right now, a little bit of light rain, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM, and it is time for our weekly visit with KMOX travel editor Peter Greenberg, host of Peter Greenberg Worldwide. That airs weekends here on KMOX. Good morning, Peter.
And good morning to you.
I can only imagine there's a lot of people getting ready to travel over the next week, you know, as the summer travel season really gets underway with the 4th of July. What are some things that you think people need to know this week?
Well, the numbers are coming in now. AAA is going to say there'll be more people traveling over the July 4th holiday period than ever before, mostly by car. All the planes are going to be full, but not because more people are traveling by air, but because there are fewer flights and airfares are still going up. That's going to be a problem, but they will be full.
We have talked about that before. Do you see airlines look to expand flights anytime soon, or are they pretty much going to constrict what flights they have available for the foreseeable future?
Well, some airlines have announced new routes in some limited markets, but the bottom line is they performed a huge schedule triage over the last 6 months, of course, based on the war in Iran situation, and that's not going to come back anytime soon. Even if oil prices go down, airfares are going to stay up, and the schedule's not going to be expanded. They're basically in a survival mode now because their fuel bill has gone up on certain airlines by $1 billion per airline, and they're trying to figure out how to recoup those losses.
What would you say to people who do want to try to squeeze in some travel this summer? What are some economical ways that families can make that happen?
Well, you know what? If they're looking to go overseas, look for where the U.S. dollar is very strong against some foreign currencies. That's where you're going to find the bargains. You'll find them in Turkey. You'll find them in South Africa. You'll find them in places where the dollar is strongest. But in the U.S., it's going to be the summer of the domestic road trip, whether you like it or not. We have the 250th birthday of America, not to mention the 100th birthday of Route 66. And that's where people are going to be. Domestic trips all over the country. And that's going to be where you want to go.
I'm going to let you give a plug because I know you have been going to some of those Route 66 locations, some hidden locations. Give us a tease of some of the things that we can watch for from you.
Well, remember, we're talking about 8 separate states, from Chicago all the way to Los Angeles and Santa Monica and the Pacific Ocean. Of course, as you know, we were in St. Louis and also in Kirkwood, hanging out at places like Spencer's Grill and going to Springfield and going over to, throughout St. Louis. Of course, I was lucky enough to be there during one of the Cardinals games. And what's interesting about that is where the stadium is Route 66. People forget. People like Stan the Man Musial. He lived on Route 66. So a lot of history there. You'll be seeing that on our show.
All right. Safe travels to you, and thanks for your help.
You got it.
That is Peter Greenberg, and you can hear Peter Greenberg worldwide. It airs weekends here on KMOX, or you can listen at petergreenberg.com.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
8:35, time for your money report. It's sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Dan Schwartzman.
A big win for Boeing as the playmaker secures an order from China Southern Airlines valued at $3.62 billion. In the past decade, Boeing had seen orders dry up from airlines in China. Two of China's best-known hedge fund managers are sounding the alarm that the artificial intelligence boom in global stock markets has become an unsustainable bubble. Wheelspring Assets says AI stocks are a, quote, super bubble and that the, quote, collapse point may not be far away. Meanwhile, Shanghai Bansha Investment Management Center said, quote, the trigger for the AI bubble to burst has already appeared. The FDIC is considering letting banks pay less to the agency's Bedrock Insurance Fund that protects customer accounts if a lender collapses. The plan would cut assessments for banks to reflect the recent growth in the Deposit Insurance Fund. It would also raise the threshold used for determining the FDIC's assessment to $30 billion from $10 billion in assets. Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Radio.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out not for everyone, because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering for Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
S&L Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call S&L. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. S&L Coin.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. Rescue and recovery operations continue in Venezuela. Officials say the 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude earthquakes that hit Wednesday evening have now killed 589 people and left several thousand injured. The Supreme Court has sided with the maker of Roundup weed killer, blocking thousands of lawsuits that alleged manufacturer Bayer failed to warn users the product could cause cancer. And some big price hikes are coming fast for some popular consumer electronics. AI is to blame. Apple this week announcing it will be raising the prices of MacBooks and iPads by hundreds of dollars in some cases. Time to head back to Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. What's the latest?
Well, we've got some good news for eastbound 70 drivers, Megan. They reopened the traffic lanes at Natural Bridge, so that jackknife tractor trailer is gone. The problem now is there's a stalled tractor trailer in the center lane eastbound 70 just before you get to the Natural Bridge exit. So he was sitting there for so long. I don't know if he ran out of gas. Who knows? But the center lane's blocked now. Eastbound 70 still heavy east of the Blanchett into Earth City and jammed from Cypress up to this stalled semi in the center lane just past Air Flight. Southbound 270, that's still slow. Olive down through to 64. Eastbound 64, there's a couple of heavy pockets now from 270 into Lindbergh. Weather's starting to move through the area again. And eastbound 44, they're trying to wrap up that crash east of Pacific. Right lane's blocked. There's still a jam headed into Pacific because of that one. I'm Roger Brand at the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Time for the Friday edition of Hancock and Kelley.
You two belong together.
John Hancock, Michael Kelley on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Good morning and happy Friday, John Hancock.
Happy birthday, more like it.
Now.
Michael Kelley's birthday today.
It is. So today is 6-2-6-2-6. 6/26/26.
Very nice.
What is that?
That's a palindrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my birthday today.
Well, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm going to do for my birthday?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to fly to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to go swimming in the reflecting pool at the...
They're going to arrest you.
Yo, really?
Yep.
What, me and Forrest Gump and Jenny?
You would be the prime suspect of tearing up the paint.
So do you remember when the president was making a big deal? I got this guy. We're doing it cheap, and we're going to paint an American flag blue. You won't even be able to cut this stuff.
$1 million.
He had a poster board, John, where he had a picture of the Eiffel Tower and the World Trade Center, and he showed this is bigger than those. And then he drove his car down the middle of it.
Yeah.
And it was going to be indestructible and all this other nonsense. And all this was made up by him, right? Like he made this whole reflecting pool an issue, which makes no sense to me.
Well,
real issues.
It's been in it, yeah. But the algae problem is not new, and it had been an issue for a while. But
you get my larger point, right? With like everything going on in the world, and he was the one who put a spotlight on this. Otherwise, this would have been another $20 million rehabilitation project that nobody would have known about, etc. He made it a deal, and now here we sit, right? And he's saying this is a liberal conspiracy against him. Did he forget the 2 weeks previous that he made such a big deal about this?
Yeah, I think the desire here was to beautify Washington, D.C. for the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, but this one didn't work out so well.
On your birthday, you spent a little bit of time on Facebook because all your friends will get on there and send you some messages, etc.
Yeah.
You know what I notice about Facebook? I don't live and breathe being a Democrat 24/7. I am one, but I have friends that are Republicans. Look at you.
Right.
And, other friends. And it just occurred to me about 2.5 years ago, we were inundated with these people running around with their red hats, right?
Right.
Everybody's going to make America great. And Joe Biden gave all this money to Iran, and girls were in MAGA bikinis and guys were wearing MAGA. What happened to all those people? I don't see no red hats anymore. I don't see any of that stuff. What's going on?
Well, I mean, Donald Trump's constituency has always been kind of multifaceted. So you had historic, Republicans that identify with the Republican Party that voted for Trump. Then you had disaffected nonpartisan people who voted for Trump. And then you had folks for whom Donald Trump represented, the greatest thing about America, right? We're down to that group now that's supporting him.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not 40% of the, we may have thought that his core base was in the, mid 40s, because that's where his approval rating hovered through the first term and much of the first year of the second term. But his actual true believing base is more like 34% or, a third of the population. And that's kind of where things are now.
Did you see this thing yesterday? They were supposed to have a bipartisan signing of a housing bill up in Washington, D.C.
Yep.
The Republicans, particularly Speaker Johnson and Senator Thune, the leader, were excited about this because it showed the Republican Party leading, delivering, making bipartisan compromise.
Josh Hawley, big supporter of this thing.
And the president was going to sign this thing, and he torpedoed it. Not like torpedoed it 24 hours before it was going to happen.
The day
like
of.
An hour before he was supposed to show up on Capitol Hill. He says, I'm not going to sign this. He leaves all these guys standing there with their, I don't know, hanging out.
Yeah.
And it really long term, John, this was an issue the Republicans, particularly those that are in some suburban closed districts, were going to be able to say, hey, look, we're making a difference when prices are going up. We're delivering on the MAGA promises. Does Donald Trump he doesn't care about the party, does he? He doesn't care.
No. And I also think in a real sense, he doesn't really care about the midterms.
Yeah.
And which is, puzzling to me, but I've come to believe he really doesn't care that much about what's going to happen in the midterms, which I think are going to be a bloodbath.
And it's really kind of unbelievable, right? Because the Democratic Party has no North Star. It's got Chuck Schumer out there that, Democrats are openly spewing bad thoughts about. Hakeem Jeffries, who kind of looks like, a grade schooler. He doesn't necessarily have the gravitas and the control of his party that Nancy Pelosi does.
Yeah, and both of them from Brooklyn, both of them endorsed candidates in the primaries, and both of them, their candidates were defeated by folks that were endorsed by Mandami.
Yeah, so you have a Democratic Party that usually when things are bad for the other side, the party that's behind, think back to Newt Gingrich.
Yeah.
They're leading a revolution, man. They are marching their troops.
Contract with America.
That is not the case with the Democratic Party. This is a Democratic Party who doesn't really know what it stands for. Like you said, they're allowing right now the Democrats to be portrayed by what's happening in New York City.
Right.
And I think we can all agree that New York City is the furthest thing from, a sample of what America looks like.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, maybe we got to take a step aside here, but I think there's a real soul searching going on within the Democratic Party right now that's very unsettled, and it may extend far beyond New York City.
Let's talk about that when we come back after this on KMOX.
Seeing more bees, wasps, or hornets around your home? Carpenter bees can damage wood structures, and wasps and hornets often hide nests inside walls. Don't risk getting stung. Let Rottler Pest Solutions protect your home and family. Call Rottler today or visit rottler.com.
The soundtrack of classic rock is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater August 6th. Leonard Skinner and Foreigner joining forces for one epic night of legendary hits and unforgettable memories. It's the Double Trouble Double Vision Tour. From Sweet Home Alabama to Cold as Ice. Don't miss your chance to experience these two Rock and Roll Hall of Fame acts in one incredible show. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
So, John, how about that? You have a Democratic Party that's probably poised to have one of the better midterm elections that it could possibly have, and it's soulless, it's headless, it's leaderless, and is kind of floundering in terms of finding a message and a direction to march.
Yeah, and, not dissimilar from, if you'll remember the midterms during Obama, 2010 and 2014 were both phenomenally successful for the Republicans.
Right.
Based almost exclusively on Obama's unpopularity at those times. This is precisely that kind of midterm for the Democrats, based on Trump's unpopularity. And coming out of the Democrat midterms of the 2010s, the Republicans were leaderless. And we ended up with a 17-way primary in 2016, no clear front runner, no clear party leader. And out of that process, we get Donald Trump.
Right.
And I'm wondering if your party is not in the precisely same position right now, and who knows what you're going to get out of the presidential primary in 2028.
Right. So this, I guess what you're saying is that could the MAGA like on the left wind up hijacking, taking control of the Democratic Party, and a lot of people are talking Madami with this socialist stuff, which I have a hard time listening to the pundits say, oh, well, this is what the Democratic Party looks like. No, this is New York City. I mean, New York City is a unique place in our country in the way that LA is unique. I don't think it's representative of what Chicago, St. Louis, Philadelphia, Atlanta look like. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. These urban areas, people lean left, but I don't know that they're socialist left.
Well, we're going to find out. And I hope you're right, because I think socialism is a disaster. But
we have socialism a lot in our lives, right? Social Security is a socialism program. Medicare is a socialist program. Medicaid is a socialist program. So aren't we kind of all living in a socialist society to a certain extent? Maybe not what they see in Europe.
Well, yeah, but what you don't have in America is the government taking over private industry, and so there is still a very strong free market that exists in this country, and free markets work, and they work so well that China, a communist country, has injected free market principles into their economy, and it allowed up until recently, it allowed that economy to explode. And free market capitalism, it works, and it works because it understands human nature and it creates wealth.
Now is the time that folks are out testing the waters, trying to see what if they've got a chance to run for president. As you look at what the Democratic Party is up to, and I know you're not in the business of thinking about Democrats, but you see everything we see, which is, you got your Gavin Newsoms and J.B. Pritzker, who are, governors from big Democratic states. Yep. You've got more of a Bill Clinton style coming out of Kentucky with Andy Beshears. You've got more of establishment Democrats and a Rahm Emanuel coming out of Chicago, but who's kind of spent his life inside of government, right? Maybe like a Leon Panetta, if you will.
And then you got moderates like Shapiro in Pennsylvania.
Right. And then you've got the unknowns, right? You got Bernie, who always seems to have an impact inside the Democratic Party. You've got AOC, who may be, I can't believe I'm going to say this, the most popular Democrat in the country right now, when you've got a bunch of weak ones out there. Where do you see this party going from? Or are you, I personally don't believe the name of what the nominee of the Democratic Party is a household name yet. I still think it's yet to emerge, a lot like Bill Clinton did in 1991. What do you see?
Yeah, I think I would predict that you're going to nominate one of these Democratic socialists.
Yeah.
It could be Mondami. It could be AOC. But that, for the better of the country, I would hope they would nominate somebody like a Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania, who's a moderate and, not a whack job, liberal, but I don't think that profile of a candidate can prevail in the caucuses and primaries that you all are going to, endure.
Yeah, well,
in 28.
Similar to they could be hijacked, just like we saw what happened with MAGA, which leads me to the question. I guess it's a 2-horse race on the Republican side to replace Donald Trump. Marco Rubio, JD Vance. Is that how you see it right now?
Well, I wouldn't be shocked if somebody like a Josh Hawley got into the presidential race in 28. But it's not going to be a 2-person field, and but it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Well, there's a chance, and not a zero chance. There's more than a 0% chance that JD Vance will be the incumbent president,
right,
going into 2028.
Yeah, if something were to happen to President Trump's health, or maybe even they organize something where he steps aside and moves on, gives himself a pardon. Well, he likes to give pardons out, doesn't he?
A lot of pardons,
especially to his family.
Yeah.
Hey, as we reflect on Missouri, I read an article this week that Mike Kehoe, our governor, indicated that he intends to run for re-election. They haven't even gotten through 2 years. I've seen his approval ratings. It's not great. He's having to deal with the same thing a lot of Republicans are dealing with, a lot of what's happening in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
How do you see that? Is this smart for Mike Kehoe to be saying now, hey, I'm running again? And who would even be a threat to him?
I don't think anyone. There's speculation that Bill Eigel, who's running for county executive in St. Charles, who ran for governor last time and lost, would run. But he has said recently that he has no intention of running for governor in 2028. So, Mike Kehoe will be the Republican nominee, and I think he'll be reelected.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Hey, I'm watching these Cardinal games, man. They're so exciting. They're so fun. I've watched more Cardinal games. I've been to more Cardinal games this year than I went to all last year, and I'm a season ticket holder. It is depressing, though, to see a team performing as well as it is and not getting the support of fans. What's going on? Is this the economy? Is this people afraid to go downtown?
Well, I mean, it's come back some. I mean, it certainly has come back some. So I think you will see more fans in the stands going forward. It's Chris and Amy coming up next right here on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos.
Financial decline could be an early sign of Alzheimer's and related dementias. An analysis by the New York Fed examined data from 38 million